my god, I don't know who. Some washed up internet has been, perhaps.
You're not supposed to self-deprecate out of the gate. You're supposed to be like, "Wow, I'm Christopher Niosi."
It's me. Yeah, it's Alex Yick.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh no, that's not. Get right. Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome. Oh my gosh. Well, my God, this has been an interesting week that we had this drive-by friendship made in the span of about 72 hours.
Friendship? Are we friends? I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna say we are, unless that's overstepping boundaries. In which case, I'm sorry if I am doing that, but otherwise,
you're supposed to be like, yeah. Oh my God, we're best friends. Whoa.
We are best friends now. Hi, yes.
God,
absolutely.
you suck at this. Jesus Christ.
Look at me, man. Come on. I'm doing my best over here.
That's okay. I forgot to put the BGM on, so you know what? We're both failures.
Well, look at you. Not even on top of your own shit. I mean, come on, woman. Get with it. Get with it.
How about we were late? We were late because you did not set up your thing properly. Okay. Macha's blaming me. Macha's like, oh my God, late can later, but I was not the late one. That was you.
No,
that was you.
It was my fault. For some reason, my camera all of a sudden was like, dude, I'm gonna not work right before the fucking interview is gonna start. I'm like, oh, it's great. Thank you, computer and my phone and OBS and just everything. Because of course, right at the exact moment we were gonna start. So forgive me for that, everybody. Thank you for waiting a couple extra minutes.
No, it was funny. You set the OBS Ninja on, right? And you left the microphone on, so I'm just hearing you like bang your keyboard.
I was just like, I have to figure this out. It's embarrassing.
It's okay. Yeah. It happens. As a disclaimer to chat, I will not be reading super chats. Mostly, right? Like if something like really interesting, like, oh, you know what? That's a good point. Then I might read it. But in general, super chats are for another stream. Okay, so
yes, it is all about me today. I am the super chat. This is just I paid her a lot of money to be on the stream today.
You didn't pay me anything.
You know what? Well, I guess. Well,
who did you send money to?
Uh-oh. I gotta go check my fucking Venmo. Well,
Ew, Venmo? What the hell?
I mean PayPal.
The only people who use Venmo are like people hiring hookers. What the fuck? You buying drugs?
I don't have to answer.
You scamming people?
Listen. I was gonna say I thought it'd be funny if we opened up with how we got here together, but I'm assuming that a good chunk of your community kind of already knows. Because I saw on the first Y2K stream, you sort of told the story of how we got here. So, but I guess to start with, yeah, we had a little.
Oh, so you're just gonna explain anyways? Then you're like, oh yeah, they already know, but I'm just gonna explain anyway. Wow.
I was gonna just abridge it real quick and say we had a little funny interaction on Twitter. And then I killed you with kindness, and then you very kindly reached out to me and was like, hey, you want to collab and stuff? And I'm like, sure, okay. And then you were continuing to stream Y2K, and then I was popping a chat, and then you came on my stream when I was playing Battle Network, and then you're like, let's talk about stuff together. There's clearly got a lot of internet history to go through and things. So why not? And you were very cool, and it was a lot of fun, and I
am very cool.
Taught you how to voice act in about 5 seconds while playing Mega Man, and that was
terrible. It was terrible. You're a terrible teacher. I didn't learn anything from that. In fact, awesome. I think I lost some of my ability to speak from that. Jesus Christ, that was terrible. I hope you don't get paid to teach
effect on people. So no, I would
oh
never
my God.
With that, so.
Jesus Christ.
Even though most of the comments were like, oh wow, like she did a really good job. Like wow, holy crap.
That's because they're my audience. They're my audience. They're big kiss asses.
Wow. All right. Well, you know what? I hope that they'll kiss my ass as well, because it's very firm and plump, and that's a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep away from my cheeks. Thank you very much.
Well, now you made it awkward. Awkward. All right. Jesus Christ.
Nothing new for me. All right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they're saying you. TMI?
Oh, good. No, you know what? That's the reaction that they should be having, for Christ's sake.
Jesus Christopher?
Jesus. I am your new Lord and Savior. I am your new Lord and Savior. That's
terrible.
Me, right here, right
terrible.
now.
Jesus Christ. That's
where do we start?
No, shut up. 𝐿 𝐿𝐴𝐷𝐿.
Yes.
Okay, that name. Okay, that's a name that I believe I read online. I did some sleuthing. I did some internet sleuthing. And 𝐿 is a mixture of Kirby and Christopher. Is that right? That's
correct. Yes, that is correct. I made this screen name when I was 12 years old. When you were just an ovule, probably.
What the fuck? You don't know how old I am. I'm the older than you. You don't know.
You know what? That's true. That's true. I should not have said. No, you're like 200. You're a fucking like anime like demon bunny girl, right, or something. So you're probably like, you know.
Are you stereotyping me right now?
Listen,
are you stereotyping me?
You know what? I shouldn't make an ass out of you. You're right. I should not ass you.
No, you're not making an ass out of me. You're only making an ass out of yourself.
Oh, they're saying you're 3.33 years old. Okay.
No, it's not years. It's just 3.33.
Oh, that's just the net amount. Okay, understood.
It's one of those animeisms.
Gotcha.
You wouldn't know about that. You voiced an anime.
That's true. I do. I've voiced in an anime or two, a couple anglames in my time. But yes, 𝐿 It's a cross between it's or as I often say, it's like Christopher except Kirbier. And that is very much a dad joke. You're going to be hearing a lot of those tonight. You know,
that was terrible.
Half your chat is also calling me dad, which I don't know how to feel about that.
Don't let it happen. They have neglect issues. Okay, they need the validation and shit. Don't fall for it. If you adopt even one of them, they're all gonna be asking to be your child. They're weird.
I'm not paying no fucking alimonies, guys. Sorry about that. So.
Jesus Christ, Pippa hates us. You know what? Yes. Fuck you, Chad. Okay. Anyways,
all 1,000 of you.
Yep. Anime stuff. What's your favorite anime you voice acted in? I know that's kind of like a cliche question, right? But
oh man, well, so many for many different reasons. I mean,
no, you have to pick one.
Okay, well, gun to my head. You can't see it, guys, but she's holding a gun to my head right now. Please.
And you voiced in Gundam.
Yes, I did.
So a gun to your head. Haha. Sorry.
Yes, I have voiced in 3 different Gundam series, actually, different Gundam projects and things. I've been around. I mean, absolute like all-time favorite so far has certainly been Reigen Arataka from Mob Psycho 100. I love that show. I love that character. I loved everything that I got to do in the whole like just the 3 seasons that we did and the OVAs and everything. It was just such an absolute joy. And when you get a character like Reigen, who is such a like fucking roller coaster of emotions, like that's the biggest gift as an actor, is to just be able to have a lot of versatility with a single character, because sometimes you get stuck in like, you know, like I'm a really serious character, too lit up, you know, anger or anything, like, or like, you know, a really happy character that's always happy all the time or whatever. But when you get someone that's really human and grounded, but like they have a lot of emotional range, and that was just Reigen to a T, like that was just a tremendous gift. And the fact that people really loved my work, and they loved the show, and they loved the dub specifically, like that meant the world to me. But there's been other characters and other shows that I've worked on that, like, you know, for other reasons, you know, sometimes different types of characters, or I just love the show, you know, so much, you know, just like getting to work on Pokemon and Dragon Ball and Naruto and Sailor Moon and stuff like that. Like just the fact that like, oh, these are shows that I grew up with, like that in and of itself is like, you're like, I get to be in this thing that I grew up with when I was a babby. Like, holy shit, man! You know, that's kind of like, but that's for different reasons. So other than just the performance side of it, so, you know.
Yeah, there's a few people in chat that go by Reigen as their usernames and everything. Mob Psycho is huge.
It's awesome, you know, and I was so happy that people, because at first, you know, when One Punch Man was like the big show of its, you know, time, and well, in 2016, 2017 or whatever. And I watched it, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's not the second coming of Christ like a lot of people were kind of making it out to be, to me anyway. And then I had heard about Mob as like the other big series created by one sensei, and then when the show was coming out, and then I auditioned for it, and I didn't know anything going into it. And then when I booked the part, I watched the whole first season in Japanese in like the, you know, weekend, and just fell in love with it. Like, it was just like, wow, like I am a fan of the show even without having, you know, working on it at all. And we went in, and I think I spent about 8 hours of recording on just like the fucking first episode alone because he had so much dialogue. And
how does that work, by the way? Like 8 hours, like are you recording like all of it? Like the whole season or something at one time?
No, like so that like the first episode was 8 hours of recording for just my lines as Reagan. Because the thing is, like, you know, because we had lots of time to spend, and we had a really good director. Actually, it's funnily enough, we had the director and the writer of the dub of One Punch Man. Crunchyroll specifically wanted like the staff of One Punch Man.
Oh, Crunchyroll!
Yes, and they also wanted some of the actors as well. So we had Max Middleman, who was the voice of Saitama, and Eric Kimmer, and a couple other people that were in One Punch Man were in Mob Psycho as different characters as well, which was cool. So I got the chance to go in and but just that first episode, he has so many lines, and we really took our time on like getting every delivery just right. And he had tons of screaming, and you know, we usually go for about 2 to 3 hours per session for recording. And so like that was over the course of a few days we worked on just the first episode. And yeah, so it depends on like, you know, if he doesn't have a whole lot to say, if he's only in a couple scenes, sometimes I'll finish like a whole episode in one, you know, session for a couple hours or whatever. But it depends, yeah. And sometimes like if it's a quick turnaround, we gotta like blast through, and you know, sometimes we only do a couple takes. It depends on the project. It depends on kind of how the setup of everything is. So every show works differently. But Mob Psycho, thankfully, we always had a lot of time to spend on getting everything just right. I never felt like I was like being rushed or I couldn't like do retakes, and they were very collaborative. They let me like, you know, improv and ad lib a couple things. There's a famous or not, but like there's a known part where like I'm looking up at this big muscular guy, and I go like, you know, he's a big boy. I ad-libbed that, and they just kept it, and I was like, yes.
Okay.
So that's always a victory when like I sneak in like, you know, something stupid like that, and yeah, that's a victory for me. So
I'm surprised it's even allowed, right? Like I've heard about like the two extremes, right? That like there's the first extreme, which is like the Ghost Stories dub, where the voice actors are free to just do whatever the fuck they want, and then the other extreme of just voice actors, they go in, they read their lines, they try to match the lip flaps kind of, and then they fuck off.
Yeah, and it depends on the project. There are some projects where like sometimes if they'll have the Japanese clients, like even there in the room, like they'll have like a representative from certain companies, and they'll really want to be like very strict about the translation, and like, you know, if the script is exactly what it is. Sometimes they might make some little edits, like, you know, line by line of like, oh, like this doesn't quite fit, or maybe do we want to, you know, change a couple words around, just like little things like that. But yeah, occasionally if the client is like, you know what, we trust you guys, we have a good director, a good writer, a good, you know, cast of actors, and we want to just, we know that you're not gonna like any ad-libbing or changes or little things like that we're doing are not taking away from like the original intent of the story or anything. Then they're usually like, yeah, no, you can have some fun with that, and, you know, and then if we throw something in that maybe it's like, it doesn't quite work, or it's a little bit too off the, you know, the beaten path, or, you know, what we want to intend for the story of the characters or whatever, you know, then they're free to not use it. But, you know, sometimes, I mean, I've been shocked, honestly, at the amount of just like stupid shit. There's been so many little dumb references that I've snuck into anime that I've worked on that I'm just like, wow, I can't believe that they let me get away with that, because they had no idea what I was doing, you know?
Like what? What'd you do?
Let's see. There was an episode of Mob, which is what we're talking about, that show, where Reagan plays rock, paper, scissors with an entire room of people, and he wins. He beats all of them because through, you know, his just very charismatic manipulation and everything kind of thing. And there's a shot where he's responding to Mob being like, wow, master, I can't believe you managed to beat them all at rock, paper, scissors. And it's like, you know, one of those anime tropes where like he's like hyper shaded, like really detailed, and is like, yes, I'm super cool, and I just did something epic or whatever. So it was like one of those kind of close-up shots, and he's like talking all like, you know, superhero-y. It's like, that's right. And I can't remember if in the original line we started off with the words "my boy," but all I could think of was, if you guys have ever seen the Legend of Zelda CDI games with those really infamously like, boy, oh boy, I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos, I can eat an Octorok, or whatever, like those really cringy like MS Paint kind of cutscenes.
Yeah, my audience watches YTPs.
Yeah, YouTube poop classics, absolutely. So the line was, was my boy. There's not a person alive who can beat me at rock, paper, scissors or something like that. So I delivered it like, my boy, there's not a man alive who can defeat me at rock, paper, scissors. So the my boy was like in reference to the king of my boy. This piece is what all true warriors strive for. And the director had no idea that that's what I was referencing. He was like, yeah, no, that's funny. That works. And I'm just like, yes.
You don't have to tell them. You can't get in trouble for that.
No. I don't say anything because if they don't know and it still works for, because that's the thing. It has to be snuck in. It has to work for the scene. It has to work for what's going on. And if they don't know, what they don't know, it won't hurt them. There was another one.
No, I do this to my boss all the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, of course, yeah. It's just like the things you get away with as a streamer, where it's just like, did anybody see that?
Ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah, exactly. There was another one in I think one of the OVAs where like Reagan is talking to himself. He's like, I think he said like, how could this be happening to me? And he's like, oh, I can't believe this. So it was like kind of like, oh man, sort of that delivery to himself. So I did like, how could this be happening to me? And I did it like just on key, but not on key enough to be like, how could this happen to me? And again, he had no idea. And I'm like, I get away with murder on this shit.
That's cringe. That's fucking cringe. Jesus Christ.
If you go back and if you guys watch Mob Psycho 100 and you listen really closely, you'll find little Easter eggs like that I plant in just like everything. It's ridiculous.
That's terrible. You know what? I'm impressed by this because, to be honest, coming as a watcher of anime, not much anymore because not a lot of anime is good lately. But like, I didn't know that voice actors actually cared about anime because like some of the shit that like gets changed in dubs and stuff. Like we're talking about Crunchyroll. Not to be an asshole, but man, Crunchyroll is kind of infamous for their localizations.
Well, see, this is the interesting thing about that. I remember way back in the day when I was a young lad and I grew up with like the original Dragon Ball Z, and that was like that there was a time where that was the only property that Crunchyroll, back when they were just Funimation, because obviously Crunchyroll was a separate company and then Funimation bought them.
Yeah, just last year.
With them and everything. Yes, that's right, and that was kind of in the works for quite a while. But Funimation, their only property was Dragon Ball, and they were like as hated on as 4Kids used to be because their original dub of DBZ back in the day was very heavily censored, and they changed the music and they changed a lot of the story and a lot of the character elements and various things like that. And then it's funny because now I look at like Dragon Ball Kai, where by that time they had 10 years of experience. They had done stuff like Full Metal Alchemist and all these other shows that were had very beloved dubs that were taken care of by directors and writers and actors that were like, this is an amazing show and we want to do a really good job with this, and this is not watered down for children or anything like that. And then when they got Dragon Ball Kai and they were like, oh, we can kind of redo this show from the beginning, and then they treated it like it was a proper anime dub that was like true to the original Japanese intention and everything. But the thing is too, I think that there's a middle ground because
here we go.
Personally, I don't love when dubs are like so like literal translation, like I most certainly definitely like absolutely be #1 and defeat you, Kojima-san or whatever, like with the like that. I think is like a little bit of a step too far to where it's like it's barely localized. It's just like you're practically speaking the subtitles, and there have been dubs like that, and those are kind of thankfully not. The two extremes, stuff like that example I just gave, or the opposite extreme, like the Saturday morning 4Kids, like we're gonna edit everything and censor stuff, and like there's no death and there's no swearing and there's no inappropriate for little kids type stuff. That kind of stuff doesn't really happen anymore. What I love is the middle ground where, like with Mob Psycho, where we're true to the original Japanese story and the character arcs and everything, but the liberties are in the dialogue. Like the dialogue sounds like it's English speaking, like as if it's an American cartoon. In terms of like it's just a natural sort of.
Okay, sometimes they make it weird though, man. Like translating like one-chan to like brother. It's like
that's
weird.
That's the thing. It depends on the show. It depends on the writer. It depends on the kind of tone of the show and everything. It's like there's so many factors. There's so many different things. Not all productions are completely different from each other. And it's the same thing. Like as someone who I've worked at different studios, all across North America, and seeing the differences in style and how they work on different things. And there's ones that I like more than others, and ones that are just like, yeah, we can, we have these limitations and these freedoms. It's all different kind of stuff. But and so like that's kind of what shows like shows that become my favorites, and ones that maybe aren't so much my favorite, but they were still fun to work on, and the people were cool. And
did you like the dub of Kobayashi?
You know what? I haven't actually gotten to see a whole lot of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
No?
I know a few of the actors that are in it, and they're really cool, and I know they're super talented, and I know that show's very beloved as well, but I haven't
Well,
seen
not the dub.
Only little clips. I've only seen little clips of it here and there, so...
Oh, you should give it a watch.
Yeah?
Might adjust your feelings on localization a bit. A bit. We'll see.
Listen, no, I'll tell you right now, because to go back to your original point about how, yeah, there's a whole generation of voice actors that are kind of like in my realm and my age that, we grew up with this stuff, that, we love these shows, and we want to do as good of a job as possible.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
No, it really is true. Look, every job I've ever worked on, look, even if it's like a show where I'm like, I'm not like in love with the, the subject matter of the show, or like, it's not necessarily something that I'm like, in love with in terms of like the type of character I'm doing, but I'm like, you know what? It's my job to do the best job that I possibly can, and to give 100% of my best effort into giving it a good performance, and hopefully it turns out okay. Not just my own part, but like the sum of everything's part, the work that everybody's doing. We're all trying our best, and you know what? And the fact is, even when you try your best, it's not always enough for people. Like even your best, it doesn't always necessarily mean it's good. That's a lesson that I learned from Calliope Mori, who's a fellow artist in her own way. She said that once, and she's right, because I'm also not only a voice actor, but I've been a writer and a creator and an animator and an artist for my whole life. And I know when I've put my heart and soul into something, and then in the end, whether or not it's good, that's up to the audience to decide. So if I've worked on dubs that probably not everybody's loved, or that you wouldn't necessarily love or whatever, but we always just kind of try to do our best. I can speak for my whole industry and say that like we try our best. We want to put our effort into, because we understand that this is an art form that is fantastic, and that it's beloved by people, and that it deserves to be treated with respect. It's not a novelty. It's not just a toy commercial or whatever. Even the shows that are literally toy commercials, it's like it's important to give it it's the same thing. It's like Pokemon is a Saturday morning like toy commercial type of show, but I love Pokemon with all my heart and soul. What that Pokemon
name 10 Pokemon
first. What's that?
Name 10 Pokemon.
Articuno, Jinx, Nidorina, Beedrill, Hunter,
oh my god.
That's Pokemon! Parasect, Execute, Muk.
Okay, I'm sorry, yes!
Right on!
Jesus Christ!
Who's your favorite Pokemon, Pippa?
Zeraora.
Hell yeah.
What's yours?
I like Scyther! That's my favorite.
Why do you say it like that?
Because that's how you say it.
Oh, okay.
Scyther!
He's in Pokemon Unite. Okay, stop it! Have you played Pokemon Unite?
No.
What's that face for? What's that face for? Why are you making that face?
I don't play Mopus. Sorry.
I don't play Mopus either, but it's Pokemon!
That's true. I have played the game since the original Red and Blue on Game Boy. I was in love.
Okay, what'd you pick? Red or blue?
Blue was my original. And
okay,
it was my first game where I had a completed 151 Pokedex, and then my fucking copy was stolen from me! And then I got Red, and then I built up a really cool, strong team that I used for Pokemon Stadium, and did all the cups and the Gym Leader Castle and all that stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. Did you see Pokemon?
Pokemon?
What?
What's that?
Oh, did you see Pokemon? Shut up. Did you see Pokemon Stadium got ported to Switch?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you can't import Pokemon to it.
Yeah. I still have my original Red cartridge with my like awesome badass team that I have on it, that I trained up with my heart and soul. And I definitely didn't use the rare candy glitch to make sure that they were all kept at the same level all the time to use in Pokemon Stadium. You
sure the battery's not dead on that by now?
No, you know what? But the batteries are dead on my original copies of Gold and Silver, unfortunately, which was
that is a bummer. Jesus Christ. Would you voice act in Pokemon Unite?
I mean, I would, but I mean, the only voice that's in it is the The narrator,
Pokemon.
or the announcer. Well, I mean, the Pokemon just do the. They don't have their anime voices. They just have their cries. I think, with the exception of Pikachu and Eevee, they do their little and all the little noises from the video games.
Yeah.
But my friend Bryson Bogus, who's a great voice actor, he's the voice of Saint Seiya. He is the announcer. The what a goal! All that stuff. He's the Pokemon Unite announcer. He's a great guy. I knew him.
You say that about everybody.
Yeah, well, because they are.
You're a kiss ass. You're just like, oh my god, the anime industry. Oh, it's so great. Everybody's wonderful. Listen, everybody is so great. I'm Christopher Niosi, and I have nothing bad to say about literally anybody. That's you. That's how you sound.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
That's you. Pathetic. Pathetic. Just kidding. You're a nice person.
Do we want to talk about crawlers? Do we want to talk about crawlers?
No. No. No.
I think.
No.
No.
I don't think we want to talk about colors.
I think we want to talk about
I don't think we want to talk about colors. I think I think that's
no.
You didn't get the memo. I sent you like okay. I have a few curiosities. Okay. Okay. Did you audition to be Chorus, or like how did that work?
I did. All right, so let me tell the
True
story.
fan.
Okay, so I'll try to summarize this real quick. So I was in New York City, going to college, and I had the chance to meet one of the at the time voice director for the Pokemon anime, and I went to an anime convention in probably 2008, I think it was, and I won it, and the prize was you get a part in a show that director was working on, and the show he was working on at the time was Pokemon. However, he couldn't just give me a part on Pokemon because they had to be approved by the Pokemon company. So I had to audition for it and earn it like any other actor, which honestly I preferred because I didn't want it to just be this little one and done, novelty thing, right? So my very first audition for any professional voiceover thing ever was for Riley from Diamond and Pearl, the guy with the cool hat and the Lucario.
Yeah.
And I went in and I had a great time, and I did not get the part, but the director said to me, "Listen, I know that we like owe you because of the contest and stuff, but I wouldn't really call you in to audition for the show if you weren't good." And I was like, wow, okay, cool. So a whole year after I went to that convention and won that contest, I had another audition for this little character named Corey. Who was basically, he and Lyra, the player character from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they showed up in the anime for about 5 episodes to travel with Ash and Dawn and Brock to basically promote Heart Gold and Soul Silver coming out. So I did 5 episodes of the show, and that was 2009, very, very end of 2009. I did those episodes, and I could not have asked for a better first voiceover job in my life. Like, there's no way. It was like, I got to do all the catchphrases. I got to catch a Pokemon. I got to fight Team Rocket. I got to have a battle with Ash. I'm just like, holy shit, man. Like, does it get better than this, right? So I did that. I had an amazing time. And after that, I thought, okay, I'm done. I worked on my, childhood gateway anime, one of the most influential things in my life. I'm good. I can go home. We're done, right? And then the following year in 2010, suddenly I had colleagues and friends of mine that were, up and comers in the voiceover business in various places that were recommending me for jobs at other studios and around various things. And so I started to build a career for myself. And all the while, like here and there, I would still get auditions for Pokemon. I read for, when Black and White was starting, actually, I read for Silent, and I read for Snivy, and I read for a couple other different guys over the course of the series. And then when X and Y was starting up, I read for Clement. And actually, it was funny. I read for Clement when there wasn't even we didn't even have a character design to look at for him yet. So it was just like a personality description. There was no name, no nothing. Just like, he's a nerd. And I'm like, okay. And so for about 3 or 4 years, I was kind of auditioning for various characters, and I did some other little bits, here and there. I did 1 episode of Black and White, some little 1 episode kid and stuff like that. And the thing was, because I was a kid back then, I was 19, 20, I was young, and because there were very few kids or younger folks in the New York voiceover scene that would get to work in the business consistently. There was I was getting called in to audition for mostly really young characters, like characters that were played by women in the Japanese version, which now that never happens with me. Like, I do not get called in to play characters that young anymore, right? But so there would be all these characters that would show up, and that I you know, gym leaders and, you know, various characters that I really wanted to audition for that I didn't get the chance to read for. And I was so bummed out. I was like, oh man, like I want to read for N and for, you know, Berg and Bryson and Chorus and Getsus and all these guys, and they wouldn't call me in to even read for them. I would only get to read for little kid characters, and I was like, oh man. So flash forward, I moved to Los Angeles, where I've been living here since about 2014, and I want to say, what year was Pokemon Generations? It was either 2015 or 2016. I went to this one event, and I met the voice director for Pokemon Generations, this woman named Ellen Epcar, and she was very nice. And I was introduced to her by another friend of mine and said, oh, Chris is really good. You should work with them. And she's like, oh, okay. So she called me in, and they were in the middle of airing the Pokemon Generations shorts at this time. They were doing like the early Gen 1 and Gen 2 ones, right? So I got to audition by the time they had gotten up to the Gen 5 shorts for Pokemon Generations. So I finally got to audition for a whole bunch of these black and white characters that I didn't get to read for in the series, right? So I read for a whole bunch of them, and okay, this is funny. And I can't remember if I've told this story on like one of my own videos before or something, but this was hilarious. So a week goes by after the audition, right? I go to this big studio where this giant screen on the wall, and they have characters and stuff, right? And you know, me trying to hide my nerdiness, being like, oh yeah, you know, it's not like I know everything about these characters and play the games religiously. That'd be weird, right? All right. And so I get a call from Ellen, the director, and this is, I swear to God, she's like, Christopher, oh, it's so great to hear from you. Listen, I've got great news. You've been cast in Pokemon Generations, the project where we were auditioning before. You have booked the part of N. We'll be calling you in to record very soon. And I'm like, oh my God, holy shit, oh my God. And then like an hour passes, and I get a call back from Ellen, and she's like, oh, Christopher, I'm so sorry. I made a slight mistake. You have booked the part of Colress. And I was like, oh, cool. No, no problem. All good. No, thank you so much. I'm so excited to come in and record. It's going to be great. And part of me was like, fuck.
What do you mean, fuck? What do you mean?
Because I really wanted to play N.
Oh my God, you disgust me.
N was voiced by the fantastically talented Mr. Grant George, who went in and played him. He did a great job on him as well. So I went in, and I was, oh yeah, no, Chorus from Black and White 2. That's still cool. That's still awesome. I'm very excited about that. That's fine. You know, I wasn't gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, and it was all good. So I go in, and I recorded all of Chorus, and okay, this is so. If you guys have ever watched cartoons where, say, like, here's the episode where all the characters like put on a play or something, right? And then like one of the characters is like the director of the play, or like something like that, and they get like really overly hyper dramatic, and they're like, I want to feel the emotion dripping from your soul in this next scene, right? That is Ellen's directing style. So I'm going up, and I'm doing all the lines and everything, right? And she's like, Christopher, on this next read, pour the emotion from your soul. And I'm like,
fuck?
Okay, cool, you got it. Whatever you say, Ellen, you got it. She was lovely. And she was referencing, like, if any of you guys are familiar with the actor Crispin Freeman, who he's the voice of Alucard from the Hellsing anime. Great guy as well. It was, very, very inspired by that sort of regal, hyper-intelligent kind of sound of Crispin Freeman. Thing that I was doing.
He is.
And so I did that, and I was like, great, awesome. Then it got better. It got better. I was like, oh my God. So then, so that was one of the 3 episodes of Generations that was of the black and white era that we did, right? So then they went back an episode, and we did the one where it was all the black and white gym leaders going to the Elite Four castle and fighting against the Team Plasma guys, right? With like all the big towers coming out of the sky and everything and all that stuff. and they're like, hey, we've got this other character. He's just got like one line real quick. It's Berg, the bug gym leader, and I'm just like, oh my god, because
oh my
Berg,
god,
no, hear me out.
Oh my god, a Berg fan. What?
Because he's the gym leader of Castillo City, which is the Manhattan of the Pokemon world, where I went to school and did the episodes of the show in New York City, right? And he had the long hair like me, and he loves bug types like me because I love Scyther, and he was like, you know, all like fun and eccentric, and he's an artist, and I'm just like, oh, hell yeah. So did him for his, we must do everything we can for each Pokemon as well, you know, all that stuff and everything. And then after that, one of the producers, Mr. Toshi Yoshida from the Pokemon Company, also a great guy, who I've known him for a long time. He was like, hey, can you do like an impression of like Bruce Lee? And I was like, what, why? And then the shot pans over after Berg comes in, and I see Bryson, the kung fu like movie actor, ice gym leader from Black and White. And he's like, he doesn't have any lines, he's just got like some kung fu like, you know, kind of stuff. And I'm like, yes, I can do that. Yes, absolutely. So I did his little, you know, fight reactions, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to voice not one, not two, but 3 major characters from one of, if not maybe my favorite Pokemon generation. Holy shit, what is my life? Like, I was over that. And by the way, again, because of what I mentioned before, where like I was a kid and I wasn't considered for adult roles back then, 3 characters that I didn't even have a chance to audition for back when I was in my early 20s. And I got to play all 3 of them, and I'm just like, my god, this is a dream come true. So that was one of the highlights. Seriously, for
my god,
one little quick session, only a few lines, you know, for each of these characters and everything. But that was absolutely, without a doubt, one of the highlights of my voiceover career, without question. Like, absolutely, it was just incredible. So, and I'm very grateful to the Pokemon Company. I'm very happy and thrilled for you know, all the, you know, the folks, the many friends of mine that have worked on the main anime series for years, because obviously the series with Ash is coming to an end. We've got that new Horizons show coming out, you know, and
you're voicing in that?
No. That's, you know, but I hope I'll get the chance to, because that'd be awesome. I'm very excited, and I'm excited just as a fan to watch it. You know, but yeah, no, I have never ever in my life stopped loving Pokemon. You know, like even when Scarlet and Violet came out, you know, a couple months ago, and I was just playing, I was binging that with a bunch of buddies of mine. We did the multiplayer mode for like 5 days straight, just blasted through the game, and I'm just like, the magic has never died for me. I love this shit. You know what I mean? So
I do not know what you mean. Scarlet and Violet sucked. Scarlet and Violet made me nostalgic for Legends of Arceus, and that game was also Cancer AIDS.
Scarlet and Violet, bugs and all, is the best Pokemon mainline game. Don't fucking at me.
Mic drop. I hope that didn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Holy fantastic. Normie, holy shit.
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh my god.
I was in love with everything about that.
Are you serious?
It was a
Are you fucking serious?
Absolutely, 100%. I adored it.
That fucked up your volume. You're so quiet now.
Oh, did it? Oh, really? Oh shit. Sorry, hold on. Let me see if I can. Yeah, somebody was saying that I did sound a little low. Hold up.
Yeah, I set up the volume control.
God. Oh, there we go.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
There we go. Okay, sorry if I am like ear-piercingly loud at this point. Sorry.
You were for a second.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Oh my god. Yeah, I fucking love Pokemon, and it was a tremendous influence on my art style, on my character designs, on my storytelling, on the because I created my own video game a couple of years ago, you know, because I love turn-based stuff, and you know, Pokemon was certainly a big, you know, impact on that kind of stuff as well. It made me obsessed with like elemental powers and that kind of thing. You know, it's just
watch the playthrough of Oni Plays Dead of Poem. You were in it.
Yes, that's right. You know what's funny? I just saw Chris like yesterday for dinner. Chris O'Neill. Yeah, because we were both. So for those of you who haven't already kind of pieced this together, my kind of origin point on the internet from way back was on Newgrounds.
I don't think they would have had any reason to piece that together. You haven't talked about it at all, man.
I back in early 2000s, I started posting cartoons on there, and I was doing, sprite animations and little, flash cartoons and things like that. And Chris O'Neill started a little bit after I did, and we actually kind of were like frenemies for a little bit, and then got to know each other, and now we're good pals. And
frenemies? No. Expand on that.
Well, because, in those early days, the kind of culture of Newgrounds was like everybody was kind of like dicks to each other because we were all like kind of rivalry and a little bit mean-spirited and because we were all like kids, and we were all kind of figuring ourselves out. But then we got to know each other, and we realized like we're both just artists, like trying to do our thing and have fun and do something creative and everything. And then I got to know Chris, I got to know 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭, a whole bunch of folks, a lot of guys that I knew from back, like Josh Tomar, all sorts of folks that are still my friends to this day. Kira Buckland, who is Rena-chan. Back then we did Brawl Taunts together. A lot of people know me for that, for better or worse.
Well, what do you mean for better? I put some of those on. They were certainly something.
God.
Brawl Taunts?
I'm so sorry for all of you for any amount of brain cells that you've lost from Brawl Taunts or any of my old video game parodies that I did back in the day. Please, I'm so sorry. But,
no, there's a lot of fans in chat. They're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy from Brawl Taunts. That's your legacy.
Yeah. It sure fucking is. Good Lord Almighty. But yeah, no, yeah, Chris actually did a couple voices in the video game that I made. So he was kind enough to do me and him and Tomar, who Tomar also did some voices in it. A lot of voices actually. We the three of us played a little bit of that together, and that was so much fun. And I always love it's. I don't know. It's funny because I've been, and that's why I appreciate that you brought me on here, because I've been trying to do more like collab guest fun content like that on YouTube with people, because I really enjoy it a lot.
Networking.
Don't, push forward as much as I should, but no, not even for that. Just like out of like, it's just fun to do. I don't know. I like bouncing off of people because I don't know. I don't always know how interesting that I am on my own necessarily. But
let's pivot back to your game a little bit. So it's called Tome, right? And yes. it's inspired. The world takes place in an MMORPG.
That's right. So
yeah, and no. Shut the fuck up. Okay, you said on Twitter you don't even play MMORPGs. Is that true?
I have never in my life ever played an MMORPG.
Holy fuck!
Never once. I've had so many friends that invited me to play World of Warcraft,
oh,
to play Final
Fantasy
XIV,
God.
to play RuneScape. Never once in my life. What happened was in the early 2000s, I got fucking way obsessed with like cyberpunk stuff. Reboots, Tron, Mega Man NT Warrior / Battle Network / Rockman EXE, the .hack series. I have never watched Sword Art. I want to tell everybody right now, I literally voiced in an episode of Sword Art Online, Alicization, whatever season that was. I have never seen an episode of that show in my goddamn life. Everybody who thinks the Tome is like inspired by Sword Art, it's not. I hate to fucking break it to you.
Oh, you
Sorry.
have some PTSD over this.
No, my PTSD is people think that I ripped off Sword Art. I'm like, no, I ripped off .hack and Mega Man Battle Network. Thank you very much. Nonetheless. So I was way obsessed with cyberpunk stuff, and I loved the idea of like a cyber like internet world, like whether it was people like, playing in a game world or like, or yeah. It's funny because I wasn't like a tremendous Digimon fan. I certainly watched bits and pieces of Digimon, back in the day, but it was really more so like, Mega Man NT Warrior and .hack, those two like more than anything. And then a little bit later on, the movie Summer Wars, which was a much later kind of inspiration. That was like, kind of an interim kind of one. But yeah, I loved the idea of having an MMO as a setting for characters to kind of interact with. So Tome, Terrain of Magical Expertise, Tome for short, TOME, has been through many incarnations. It started as a sprite cartoon that I did on Newgrounds back in 2004.
Jesus.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, it was called TV Tome Adventures, TTA. And it was basically a story that I wrote based on myself and all of my first internet friends. I met a bunch of folks on a forum that I went to. And I basically, there were no, this was way back when there were no avatars or signatures or any images. It was like really difficult to get like bandwidth to post images somewhere. So I basically created character designs based off of people's screen names. I was like, what would a Game Crazed look like? What would Flame Girl look like? What would Nylock look like as a character? And came up with designs for them. And then I made a little story about them living, you know, playing on like a virtual reality kind of MMO in the futuristic year of 2020.
Whoa.
Which now we're long past by this point. I'm crazy, yeah, right. And then I did that for 73 episodes. I did TTA for on Newgrounds from 2004 to 2007 or so. Then I went to animation college. I went to the School of Visual Arts in New York City, and had a great time there, and you know, all sorts of stuff. Then after I graduated, I wanted to do kind of a big long-term sort of project for Newgrounds, and then eventually YouTube. It was sponsored by Newgrounds for a little while, and then I moved it to YouTube after the first few episodes. I did a 2011 to 2015, a 16-episode animated web series of Tome. It was sort of a remake of TTA with like newly imagined versions of the characters. I had like an all-star cast of great voice actors that I'd worked with on various things up until that point, some that I hadn't met before. And they were amazing. They did a great job and all that stuff. Worked with a whole bunch of different folks on it. Did that for quite a while, and then took a break for a bit more. Was studying a lot of animation stuff and doing a lot of voiceover work. And then from about 2017 to 2021, myself and a couple other lovely game developer friends of mine that I worked with on some other projects, we created a Tome video game that we did a Kickstarter for in 2017. We made a little over $100K for the budget for it. So small budget for a game. Even, no, I know. Believe it or not, I know even that much. That is like nothing for a video game budget. Like seriously.
For an indie game though, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and also because the thing was because like I'm a fucking insane person, and I decided like I'm gonna make a you know, Mario RPG length you know, like turn-based adventure as my first video game, which to those of you out there who are up and coming like indie game developers, don't do something so ambitious as your first game project, because Jesus Christ, you will die in the process. I'm surprised that it came out unscathed. Now, I wasn't. I hurt my arms very badly. I'm still dealing with a lot of very bad physical therapy stuff the last couple years. It's not pretty.
The life of an artist.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was a lifelong dream come true to make my own video game, and I'm very, very proud of it. And it's coming up on almost 2 years now that we released it. We put it out in, I think it was September 9th, I think. Yeah, I think on 9/9 was when we released the game finally. And and it's if you guys are interested in it, it's on Steam. Terrain of Magical Expertise.
Chill time.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Oh my God.
It's something that I'm very, very proud of. It was, you know, we put so much effort into it. And if you're a fan of the likes of the Paper Mario games or Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo, and it's got little influences of you know, Battle Network and Dot Hack and a little bit of Pokemon stuff. It's a fun adventure where basically the story real quick is you are a white hat hacker who is gifted a copy of this game of this game in the year 2020 called Tome. And you come in right around the time that a special tournament event is happening called the Campaign of Champions, with a huge cash prize on the line. And as it happens, there are some black hat hackers who are illegally cheating to try and win that prize. And you are sent on a mission to kind of even the odds. And in the process, you meet a bunch of scrappy young folks in a guild called the Dandy Alliance. And you join their ranks kind of through some funny circumstance. And you end up kind of helping them out on different quest lines to secure, you know, winning this tournament and getting to the top and fighting all these other kooky characters and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. Super kooky. It's got a whole bunch of awesome voice actors that you might recognize from all sorts of video games and anime and cartoons and various things. I did pretty much all of the character animation myself. It's filled with like 200 different unique enemies to fight against, most of which were donated by some very, very loyal fans that donated their own characters to Pippa. I wish I could mod you in as like a guest boss or something to fight against. I'd love to kick your ass in the game. It'd be so much fun.
You could not kick my ass though. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I bet I could. I bet I could. Oh yeah.
The only way you could is because you're the freaking person in charge of like the character health and shit. But like realistically, if our power levels were compared. Listen, man. Listen. I'd kick your ass, theater kid.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You know what? Funnily enough, I'm not a theater kid.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Seriously,
oh
I know. I get that, but seriously, I do not have a traditional acting background. I didn't do theater. I didn't do stand-up. I didn't do radio. I was an animator first and foremost, and I just studied the shit out of acting, and voiceover specifically.
You're a theater kid at heart.
So, you
From
know what?
New York.
Mayhaps, yeah.
What borough? What borough?
Good Lord.
Or outside?
What borough?
Are you not from the city?
No, I'm actually from Long Island. I'm from the suburbs. I moved to the city when I was going to college. Yeah, because SVA was in the city, so I was living there for 4 years and dorming and everything. But no, my home is Long Island in the suburbs.
Fucking city slicker.
Yeah. I was a country boy. I was
Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
Bro.
But no, it was a fun place to be. I went to visit there over February recently, and it's a beautiful place, and I miss it sometimes. But you know what? I've been happy in LA because all my friends are here, and they're wonderful folks that I love dearly. I had some coffee with a bunch of my voice actor friends like just before I came into this interview today. Actually, including one of them who actually is also a graduate from the same college I went to, and I was like, oh, how about that?
Another New Yorker.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I'm judging. I'm sorry.
Why do you hate New York so much?
Cause it's the city. It's like a city state, dude. It's the biggest city in all of the US. And so there's the highest concentration of filth and degeneracy.
It's true. When I was a little kid, admittedly, other than going to like FAO Schwartz or like the giant Toys R Us or like the back when it was the Pokemon Center before it became the Nintendo World Store. That's how fucking old I am, everybody. I'm ancient. I hated going to the city when I was a kid because all I could think about was the just disgusting fucking cigarette smoke. Because You're
from Long Island! What do you mean? You're still in the city!
Legit. No, that's what I'm saying. Long Island wasn't. It was more of a suburban area.
How
old
are you?
What are you?
How old are you?
What? I'm 34.
Damn, you're old.
Thanks. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, but no. Legit, Long Island isn't a city. It's a suburban area. But
that's the same thing.
I didn't live in the city until college, and I got used to it, and then I grew to appreciate it. But even then, I wouldn't want to live in New York City, and thankfully I didn't, because also all my money would have gone on the fucking drain. Because it's so expensive. It's like more expensive to live in New York City than it is in LA. Believe it or fucking not.
Dude, the
really saying
population of Long Island is 7.647 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You're insane.
Wow.
Bro. And then you moved to another shithole.
Yeah. And then I moved to LA.
You moved to California. Why?
Because it was where my industry was. My goal was to work in the animation industry and work in more professional voiceover stuff, and this is where it all is. So, and it was where ultimately all my friends were. So even just socially, like I wanted to be around all the people that I cared about and stuff. And I'm happy here. I've been out here for it's going to be coming up on this summer. This summer, it'll be 9 years that I've been living in California now.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, seriously. All shit aside, like I really like it out here, and I don't know. I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon. So
you're a very different breed of person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand.
I don't like the way you said breed.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
There's nothing wrong with what I said. Okay, a species? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, what do you like about living in the city?
About New York or LA?
They're both the same.
Gosh, I don't know. Well, you know what? I like in the areas that I've lived in 3 different places since I moved out here, and all of them have been generally walking distance from like nice places to eat and little.
Oh, you walk, you go outside. Ew.
Yeah. And you know, and I grew to like driving. I didn't drive a whole lot because the public transit in New York was really good, so there wasn't really much reason for me to drive. But I do like driving here and there.
Oh my god!
And again, I think you know what it is. It really it's not so much like about the place. Like I don't really care that much about like the location. It's really more about like the people. And I love the people here.
You a people person?
Yeah, I would say so. The other thing too is I think that LA and maybe New York to a certain extent get this like impression from people that like, oh, everybody's fake and whatever. It's like I don't think that's true. Honestly I think that what it is that people in the work in the entertainment industry, there's always going to be, you know, people that are assholes or whatever. But the truth
Epstein.
is the ones that are like fake douchebags, they usually don't last. Like they tend to get ostracized because people sniff out very quickly that they're dicks and no one wants to be around them. You know what I mean? So like, I don't usually get to, you know, be exposed to people like that very often, which I'm very fortunate for. Generally, if anything, I would say that more often people that work in entertainment, whether they're living in LA or New York or wherever, if anything, sometimes I think that they tend to be a little bit the opposite of being fake. They're a little too brutally honest to the point where it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, you know, and I've been in that boat too. I've been guilty of that myself. I'm not, you know, I'm excluding myself from that necessarily, but yeah, I don't know. It really just is about, I love the people and I really connect with them all and I love spending time with them. I love seeing them and you know, they're kind of like, I don't have a tribe in terms of like, you know, like one particular group of people. I just have a lot of individual people that have just been true friends that I love dearly and that have been very loyal to me and
makes it all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that's good. How did you get involved, like, I guess with the people that you hang out with now? Like, is it just like a group that you've acquired over time, cross voice acting gigs, or?
There's a whole lot. I mean, like, you know, I think about some of my long time and closest friends and you know, some of it was me reaching out of like, hey, I'd love to talk with you or work with you on something, and then getting to know them more just kind of through osmosis and stuff. Like Ben Diskin, who's he's been a veteran since he was basically in the womb. And a lot of people know him for he was #1 and #2 on Kids Next Door, and he's a Hideout and a Gretzko, and you know, just tons and tons of stuff, too much to name. And you know, I reached out to him as a guest on a podcast I was on many years ago, and then we just kind of kept in touch, and we just kind of realized we had similar interests. And when I moved out to LA, he was one of my biggest kind of champions. He got me in with a lot of studios, and you know, helped you know, get my name around to various places, and was
nepotism
really cool to me. Oh no, I don't think it. You know what? I think
nepotism.
I don't
look at it earlier.
No, but I don't look at it as nepotism necessarily. I look at it as friends are supportive to each other and be like, hey, you're really talented and you deserve to have opportunities given to you. So I want to recommend you to this decision maker, this casting person, this producer, this whatever. And you know what? Because I've very much tried to do the same. There's a lot of really talented people that I don't think get as much opportunity as they did. Today, actually, Octopimp, Alex Gross, who a lot of you guys might be familiar with. He's a really funny guy, great YouTuber, and he's a great actor. I've worked with him as a performer. He was in my game. He was in Tome, and he's been in a couple other projects I've worked on. He's super talented as an actor, and he's gotten to do some voice acting stuff. He's the new voice of Axel in Guilty Gear, and he's worked on some other projects. And in my opinion, he does not get enough voiceover work. So I've tried recommending him to different people as much as I can. Just as a performer, because I'm just like, dude, you deserve to be working more. Like, you are so good, and you are so much better than, you know, the level of stuff that you're doing, you know. So I try to give back. That's what that's kind of what I mean, is like, it's nepotism in terms of like, yeah, like you're hooked up with an opportunity, because auditioning is competitive when you're thrown into, you know, hundreds, sometimes thousands of people that are all reading for, you know, one project. It's you know, it's a big pool, and sometimes when people are just recommended directly, and you know, decision makers go with someone because you know what, I want to give this person a shot, or like, oh, I'm going to consider them highly. Like, you know, it all kind of depends from project to project as well. So, but it is hard. It is hard to like make a living doing this for sure. So, is it what? Or no? Okay, well, I don't. Okay, if I'm asking things that are like too, you know, like off limits or whatever, just let me know. But like, sure. How? Can I just like ask bluntly, like, how much does like an average gig pay? Well, there are standards, right? So like, there's standards for like, you know, a union project, for okay, so like a union project, like say when I worked on a Cartoon Network show called 𝐒𝐴𝐻𝐾𝐬, Let's Be Heroes, which was great fun. Loved working on that. I got to play a whole bunch of different characters, and that was a union like prelay, what they call like original animation cartoon, right? And it was basically they book you for a 4-hour session, and you do like whatever they need for those 4 hours, and you're given like a limit of 3 characters, right? And a union like 4-hour session job is maybe like a little under $1,000, right? And in addition, if it airs on TV, excuse my burp, sorry. If it airs on TV, then you get residuals, right? And then like, so video games and, you know, streaming stuff or whatever, like you don't get residuals for that. So it's just the flat rate of what it is. And then there's other jobs sometimes if it's a low budget contract, if it's like a smaller thing. Anime dubbing, it's no secret that a lot of voice actors have talked about that. Dubbing, or what they call ADR, which is audio dialogue replacement. Same thing with, like, say, like you're working on like a live action movie, and they need the actors to come in and like overdub like a part of themselves if like the line is fucked up, or like, you know, like a plane flew overhead and you have to, you know, you can't hear it as well and you have to like redub it. That's considered post-production. So that's a much smaller fee. So like dubbing is like, you know, a fraction of that. So like with dubbing, and the rates have increased. Like there have been a lot of people that have fought to increase the rates for various things. And then like non-union projects, which, you know, depending on the budget of different things for, you know, different projects as well, and different clients, you know, whether they do want to do this and that. There's different rules to how certain projects go and everything. So it's the same. I know I've said this a lot, but it's like it all differs from project to project, from client to client, from, you know, studio to studio. It's all different kinds of things. Making a living at it, I mean, if you're like a creme de la creme, like in constantly in demand voice actor, and you're working in, you know, a combination of commercials to, you know, animation, like on a series, like as a main character, or, you know, like a long ongoing video game project for several years, or whatever, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's like that can kind of amass, and there's even people that are also, you know, they're actors and they're also directors and they're also writers, or they might do convention appearances and they sell, you know, prints and merch and, you know, pop vinyl figures and stuff like that, and they'll, you know, appearance fees and that kind of thing. It's all kind of a collection together. I myself, I don't make a living exclusively doing voiceover. No? It's a chunk of my living, certainly, and it's a great chunk that I'm very happy to have. But I do a combination of voiceover, of YouTube content with, you know, like my ad revenue and whatever, you know, super chats and all that kind of stuff. I launched a Patreon in April as well. I finally took the plunge and did that. You know, I've done freelance writing for, like, I've actually done adaptive, like localizing scripting stuff for anime shows and movies and things like that. That was actually a big chunk of my income last year, specifically, was doing, like, I did like a bunch of series and stuff like that. I got to work on Berserk, actually, which is a huge deal, because that's a big you know, series that I was very honored to get to be a part of. And like art, you know, some freelance art and animation, you know, various things like that for different people. So it's all kind of, but you know what? It's all stuff that I love to do. It's all stuff that I would be doing because it's my passion. I'm thankful that, you know, I don't have to, you know, go get a job at like Target or Walmart or something and have it take away from the things that are my craft, you know. So, and I'm very lucky in that regard, that I'm able to, you know, it's hard to save, you know, I'm not gonna lie. It's, you know, it's tough sometimes. There are better years than others, but you know what? It's what I want to do more than anything else. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for it. So,
have you ever had to split your time a bunch between like a regular, well, I don't want to say regular job, like voice acting is not a regular job. Okay, I don't know the word. You ever had to work at like Target or something to keep yourself afloat?
You know what? I'm very grateful. In addition, legit, I've never had to have any kind of like regular, you know, job like that. The only one that I had that was even close to that was many years ago, when I think it was in my last year of high school, and then like the beginning of college. I worked for this company around Long Island where I grew up. That was they did like edutainment, like this like kind of Jumpstart and like that kind of stuff, like those little computer games for
those are the people that buy Neopets.
Yeah. I worked for a company that did like edutainment games, and I was kind of just their go-to like animator graphics kind of guy. I did animation for like tutorials of this little like I'm the edu wizard and I'll teach you how to use this program to teach your students. And they did like software for teachers to use, and they did some games and things like that. So I did that for a couple of years, and it was okay. And I definitely used some of my downtime because I was let's say I was very fast. I was very fast at what I did, and my boss at the time would like to add additional features to every project because he needed to keep giving me work to do. So all the programmers hated my guts because their workload just never fucking ended, and I felt so bad. I was like, sorry guys.
Did you get paid more for it though?
No, I was given a raise after a while because I was doing, a pretty good job. But the thing was, I was also sneakily kind of using some downtime to work on some of my, early Newgrounds projects at the same time because I'm like, all right, I would always, actually, this was before that, believe it or not.
Huh?
Or no, maybe, actually, you know what? It might have, no, it was around that same time. It was right around that same time, like 2008 or 9 or so, I think. Kind of around that point, yeah. But yeah, I did. That was my one and only like job, as in like I went to an office and worked, in that kind of way. But otherwise, everything that I have done since then, like all my voiceover stuff, all of my, I've directed stuff before. I've cast stuff. I've written stuff. I've animated. I've drawn.
What have you directed?
I've directed, so mostly I've directed video games, stuff that you guys might know of if you know of a little 3D platformer indie masterpiece called 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭, which I love dearly. I love that game. I was very lucky to be the casting and voice director for that project, which was just so much fun to work on. Loved that game. I've done a lot of virtual reality games. There was this company I used to work for out here in Culver City. Called 𝐶𝑯𝑨𝒀𝑚. I did a running racing game called 𝐶𝑉𝑎. Sorry, the company. Sprint Vector.
Never heard of it.
It was really fun. I did a Walking Dead game called Walking Dead Onslaught. I got to work with Norman Reedus because he played Daryl. He reprised his Daryl, and that was awesome. I did a Creed boxing VR game where we had Michael B. Jordan reprise as Creed, and he was great.
I know that name.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan. Cool. Most of the people you list off, I have no idea who the fuck they are. But I know that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was super cool. And a couple other things that worked out. Actually, this is crazy. When I knew, if those of you, if you're fans of Vivian Medrano, a creator of Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss and all that stuff, I knew her when I went to college. She was a freshman when I was a senior in SVA, and she was a freshman, and we became friends, and she was super cool and a lot of fun. And I used to help the students that I knew, like other people in my same year or people that were in the years below me. They would want voice actors, and I'd be, hey, let me hook you up. I've got lots of friends that do voice acting, and little like indie stuff and amateur stuff or whatever. I'll hook you up with people. So I cast her very first project, which was a short film called The Son of 666. And so we met each other way back then, and we're still friends, and I see her once in a while at parties and things. She's super cool.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I've directed stuff like that. I actually on '𝐵𝒀𝒀𝒄, which I mentioned earlier, we did a special edition, kind of an anniversary or a memorial version of 𝐵𝒀𝒄, kind of in tribute to the passing of Muda-san, the creator of 𝐵𝒀𝒄, the original manga author who passed away, unfortunately. I was very lucky enough to get to direct only a couple little quick sessions for a few actors. I got to direct like the voice of Prince Julius and Judo and a couple other people. And that was very big honor because Michael Sinner-Nicholas, he's the voice of Dean Venture on Venture Brothers, and he's the director of 𝐵𝒀𝒄. He trusted me to write some of the new material and to co-direct a couple little, just very minor scenes here and there. So I love directing. I love getting to cast and direct. And I just had a casting gig that I was helping with somebody with recently, which was cool.
What's that like, directing? Like, what do you actually do? Like, you described the other lady, how she was like a theater director, like bring out the emotion. Is that literally like what you do, or?
Well, once again, differs from project to project. My usual style is I give like, so say you have a scene with a character, and usually I'm directing actors individually from like, by themselves. It's very rare that we get to have all the actors together in sort of one session, right? So I'll explain to them what the scene is. Usually we'll do a pass of like a scene, like a bunch of lines. And if there's other characters interacting with them, maybe on the first pass, I might like play the other characters, like kind of bouncing off them, kind of like when we did that little thing in Battle Network where we were playing the characters together. I would play the other characters just so they would have something to like kind of react to. And then we'll go back and we'll pick up lines individually, and I'll give them feedback. Okay, can you redo this line a little bit, but like have a little bit more intensity? Sometimes we might be like, okay, that pass was great, let's change the tone a little bit, let's make this like a little bit more intimate or soft, or or like a little more broad, like maybe they're a little bit of a higher distance away from each other, kind of thing. Or sometimes even if it's just as specific as that reading that you just did on that line was great, one more hit this word, hit the context of this, like because of it needs to make sense and contextually with who they're reacting to or talking to, like hit this word a little bit. A prime example of what I mean, right? Say there was a moment where this happened in a game I was playing one time. There was a character that was talking about wanting to give their parents some alone time, right? And they were like, man, mom and dad haven't gotten to spend time with each other like this in a long time. And then the next line was, I know, I should give them some time to spend together, without me, right? Now, the words I know was them having a realization of, I know I should give them some time alone and, without me tagging along, kind of thing, right? But in the game, because I'm assuming that it was done line by line and they just didn't keep track of like what the context was, it came out as, I know, but the character wasn't talking to somebody, so I know, what that sounded more like they would have been reacting to somebody else when it should have been, I know, like a react, like they're like a realization, So little things like that. Where but usually the nice thing is, for the most part, the people that I work with are really, really good, and they have very good instincts when they go in, because usually we don't get to see the script ahead of time for a lot of the projects we work on. The rare exceptions to that are like when I did KO on Cartoon Network, they would send us the scripts and the storyboards for the episodes before we go in to record them, which was very helpful for me, especially because as an animation person, I can see, okay, that's what the joke is visually, and I can kind of come up with some ideas ahead of time for that. And then if they want suggestions, and thankfully on that show, 𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐿 _COURDY, the creator of the show, was also in it, voicing a bunch of characters, so he would also give us feedback and direction and kind of other information on various things, which is cool. So but yeah, like that, all those kind of things, usually you go in completely blind and you got to just kind of figure it out as you go. But the instincts are what help you come up with like a good solid read for something to start with. And then if you want to tweak things, even if it's just like, let's improve upon this just a tiny little bit, and then you head off to the races, and usually people are very proficient, and there's very rare sessions where like I can think of very few examples where like somebody was like, I was paired up with an actor that like wasn't super experienced and they were not great, and I had to like really, really like heavily direct them on things, which that can be challenging, but it's the same thing as before. It's like, it's my job to get the best performance that I possibly can out of them in whatever way that I need to. And you do the best that you can with everything, just as they're usually trying their best as well. So what
about like on Yick? So you said you mentioned on your stream that during Yick everybody was in the same room recording at the same time. How does something like that go? You said that's like a very uncommon experience.
For video games specifically, it is extremely uncommon. I can think of very, very few examples where that happens. So I came to be involved with Y2K, a postmodern RPG, through...
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, in fact,
what?
That is how you pronounce it.
Bro, you should just call it Yick. That's how it's written.
I called its proper name.
Listen, the developers aren't watching. The developers aren't watching. You could just call it Yick.
The creator actually told me to say that he's watching you. He's watching you.
Your game sucks.
Wow. So rude. I came to be involved with Y2K through Brittany Lotta, who was the voice director for that project. She's a good friend and got a voice actor as well. And so she auditioned me for Alex and I think a couple other characters as well. So I got cast, and then the guys that were developing the project at Act Studios, they set up a facility for themselves in New Jersey, and they built this giant recording space called a Whisper Room, which they constructed like from the ground up at their facility. And it was big enough to fit all the actors together. And because Y2K had like a relatively small number of characters in the whole project, it worked out where basically we all coordinated to fly out to the studio in New Jersey, and we stayed at.
Oh, it was in New Jersey.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God!
And it was funny because I had just moved to LA at that time, and I was immediately going back home to the East Coast, and I was staying in New York City at a friend's place, and then would take the train over to New Jersey. Like for a whole week, I was there. So Monday to Friday, we had all day sessions, doing hours and hours and hours of recording, and especially because, as you've seen, Alex likes to monologue a lot.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of his character is that he starts out as a douchebag, and the point, much like a say like a Scott Pilgrim type of character.
I hate Scott Pilgrim.
His arc is meant to be that he grows and changes and becomes a decent human being by the end of the story.
You know what they say about Scott Pilgrim?
That he's bread makes you fat.
Ruined an entire generation of women.
Oh.
You like Scott Pilgrim?
You know what? I don't know anymore. I was really big into it when the comic first came out and the movie. When the animated series comes out on Netflix, because I do want to watch it because I've wanted to see it animated for years, I think then maybe I'll have an answer as to whether I still like it or not. But I liked it a lot when it first came out, like, 10 plus years ago, way back in the day. Right?
But you like Yick.
I do. I do like it. Yeah.
What? Tell me what you like about Yick.
I think it's very imaginative. It's very unique. I love the graphical style. I love the music. I remember when we were recording it, and I was living the character story, and I was telling Andrew and Brian and Bridget and all the developers there. I was like, you guys have something really special. Like I genuinely like the arc that this character goes through. I think that this is very imaginative and just interesting, and there were some like really serious dire kind of moments that happened like throughout the story that were like really emotional from our perspective to perform them and everything. And that's the thing, look, it goes back to what I said before at the very beginning, where like you can put your all into something, and if at the end of the day people don't like it, people don't like it.
Yeah.
So I get it. I know that there's tons of people to this day that don't like the game, and that's fine. But you know what? From my perspective, I genuinely loved getting to be in that room with all these other actors, live through this story, seeing all these different how the different kind of branching paths and all the crazy psychedelic stuff that was happening, seeing these really good people. Because I will say one thing. Anybody who has been personally vitriolic to the people that make the game.
Oh no, that's too far.
That I'm just don't do that. Don't treat them like shit. You are, I don't mean you you.
Yeah.
I mean just people. If you don't like the game, that's fine. You are entitled to your thoughts. Don't attack people.
No.
And especially because these guys, I sincerely mean that. I'm not just saying this. They're wonderful human beings that worked very, very, very hard during the process of that game. And so I like it. And you know what? Honestly, I when we finished up the update that we're working on, which I recorded some new stuff for very recently, which was a lot of fun. I want to play the game myself because I actually haven't gotten to play it. From start to finish. Yeah.
Oh my God! I asked you if you liked it. You haven't even fucking played it.
No,
what do you mean you like it? You haven't played it.
Yeah, but also remember,
oh my God! Actual paid shill. No, shut up! Actual paid fucking shill right here. Do not listen to a word that comes out of his mouth about literally anything. Intellectually dishonest. Okay, now say what you're gonna say.
No, you've revoked the privilege. Never mind. Next question.
Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, so so in general with voice acting, are there ever moments, like with Yick, for example, where there's bits of dialogue, such as vibrating with motion, where you're like, that's fucking dumb? And are you allowed to call those out?
Well, I would say the closest equivalent to that kind of thing, because if something happens and it's silly, but it serves the story and it serves the character, again, my job is to serve the character and to serve the experience, right? So usually I'm just like, that's the line, I'm gonna say it. It's usually in cases where like something feels like out of place that sometimes I'll be critical of, and I'll be like, oh, can't I just please like say something else or whatever. But the thing is, like, if the script is what it is and the story is already set in stone, or like if it's an anime, I'm like, I mean, the animation it's done, like the product is made and we're just dubbing what's already there, right? There's only so much you can do. There's little subtle things where, like, say you have like a villainous character, right? And they're intended to be. Sure, absolutely, yeah. And say you have a villainous character that is intended to be, sympathetic, because usually most villains, and most really good villains, not all, but most are motivated in a way that, like, what they think that they're doing is justifiable and good. Like, they don't think that they're evil. It's like, in the grand scheme of the world, they're evil. And sometimes even in an ambiguous way that, like, oh,
where are you going with this?
What if you agree with this? So say, like, you're playing a character that's villainous, but they're supposed to be somewhat sympathetic, and then they suddenly have a moment where, like, they're saying or talking about something that's just like, and then I'm going to kill everyone. And it's like, well then, wait, that completely, like, betrays the rest of what their whole deal is, and then it's just like, I'm evil, now you can't sympathize with me anymore. And it's like, oh, that's like sometimes I'll see a moment like that, and it's like, well, that's kind of lame, but it's like, all right, but that's what the creator's intention is. And certainly I can talk with, a director or a producer and challenge and talk about, could we, maybe readjust this a little bit or whatever. And but at the end of the day, if it's like, well, this is what our intention is, and they'll explain to me, it's like, okay. And, at the end of the day, my job is to say the lines and give my best performance and serve their own material.
So there's not really a collaborative effort.
No, I think that there is, but like I said, I know that I sound like a fucking broken record, but it is situation to situation, project to project, creator to creator, producer to producer. Everything is contextually different.
Okay, so what about Yick?
Well, with Y2K, I mean, like, I think that to my recollection, I think that there were definitely times. No, there were definitely times where if I wanted to suggest something, if I wanted to spin a line a different way, if I wanted to, like, change the wording up a little bit or add a subtlety or change a different thing. There was one scene. Do you intend to finish the full game?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you think it's worth finishing?
I do, personally.
Well, you have terrible taste, so no, I'm not going to finish it.
Okay, well, there you go. Nonetheless, there was a very pivotal. I'll be ambiguous in case you do play the rest of it. There's a very pivotal scene with Alex, where there were two specific little changes that I made. One of them was the reveal of something about one of the other characters that was just subtle enough that, like, it wasn't like, completely shifting or changing the material that they had already come up with. It was adding just a little bit of an extra layer that I was able to do through just the recording, right? And then the other part of it was Alex had to say this very dramatic line that I think on my third take of recording it, I did two as it was written, and then I did a third one where I just sort of, like, let whatever came out. Somebody in the chat guessed what it is, but I'm not going to acknowledge what it is.
No, I didn't see it. Oh, why are you reading chat?
Yeah, I had the chat open.
Oh my god,
keeping an eye out there, But yeah, there was I just sort of, like, let whatever came out, and, like, there were, like, tears rolling down my face. I was getting, like,
oh
really
my god,
invested into it. Because when you really envelop a character and you really, I don't
you
go,
are
like,
crying,
listen,
Alex.
I don't go, like, full method, because, like, that shit is, like, a little too crazy for me. I'm not into that. But, like, when I'm invested into a part and I want to give it my all, like, yeah, it was a big emotion. It was one of the big emotional, like, high points of the character. So I threw a little something in, and they liked it, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna put that in. And I was like, cool, hell yeah. And it's a scene that I'm very proud of, like, legitimately. So there was another project. Okay,
theater
actually,
kid,
something.
holy shit. Okay.
Can I tell you another one?
No,
okay.
tell me.
So there there was a trio of animated, CG animated Godzilla films that I worked on. I voiced the main character of those.
Wait, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Ottawa. My favorite what?
Favorite monster from Godzilla.
Oh, that's a good one. I had a toy. It's a tie between because I had a toy of Space Godzilla. I never saw any of the movies with Space Godzilla in it, but I love the toy of him. I love the cool crystals and shit. I like King Ghidorah, and I really in the third of these 3 movies that we did, King Ghidorah was this like ethereal like stream of energy, like this golden like energy thing that would like devour planets, and it was fucking terrifying, and I really liked that version of him. Not that I don't also like the original, just like, 3-headed dragon version of him, of course, too. But
I am so disappointed in you.
Why?
You said okay, so you were going on about bug types, right? Okay.
I do love Mothra. Mothra's also great.
Too late. It's too late. It's too fucking late.
I'm sorry, Mothra. You know what? It's
You're
true
disgusting.
because I like. There's like a tribe of like these like Mothra worshippers and we go back to Earth after like it's been desecrated and all of humankind has died out, and then a new kind of like race of sort of humanoid sort of alien people repopulate the Earth, and they're like the sort of like they're like a religious not a cult per se, but like they worship Mothra basically. And I get with one of them at the end. And so I really should be loyal to my pseudo wife and her Mothra god a little bit, but in the second one, in the second one, this other character who is my love interest, like growing up, like we lived together, we were best friends and everything. She dies tragically at the end of the second one, and she like kind of falls out of this sort of mech suit thing. She's in my arms. And
it sounds so cringe. You say it like it's in my arms.
Dude. So
I am the character.
No, legit. I got so into it. So okay. So on the Godzilla project. Actually, this goes back to the earlier thing about kind of how everything worked. So in those Godzilla movies, we would do entire scenes in a row. Like they would show me like a 2-minute scene in Japanese, right? And they would have the lines on screen. It was kind of like a different way of dubbing where they had. They used this technology where the lines of dialogue would kind of go across the screen as they were supposed to be synced to the mouth movements, almost kind of like a karaoke sort of machine type of thing. It was really interesting.
That sounds fun.
So it was a very unique kind of way of doing it, because usually that's the way that they dub like live action movies and TV shows. It's not very common that they do it that way for anime, but we did it that way for the Godzilla movies. So in the second one, at the very end, there's this scene where the Yuko, who is this played by Christina V. Those of you who don't know Christina Valenzuela, she dies from like this like metal like Mechagodzilla like metal infection like virus thing, and she falls out of the cockpit of the mech and falls into my arms, and he like is like calling her name and trying to wake her up, and he realizes that pouring out of her face are these tears of liquid metal, and he realizes she has been dead like for a while, and he's sobbing and crying, and literally I'm getting emotional saying this right now.
Oh my god.
And he to the sky gives this big long, the biggest in my life, this long like scream for like a solid like 15 seconds, cut to black, and you hear him sobbing, credits fucking roll, right? So the director, who's really, he was also very, very collaborative to work with, and he was so into the project. He was a great guy, Tyler. So I asked him at the beginning of the second movie, I'm like, all right, Tyler, what's the emotional high point? And he's like, oh, you'll know it when you see it. And I'm like, okay. Because the reason I ask questions like that is like, because when there's big, like crazy dramatic anime moments, I want to know how to scale them. Like what's the moment that deserves like the biggest, craziest, like, kind of screams and stuff like that, right? So we get to the end of the movie and he plays that ending scene in Japanese for me. And he's like, here it is. This is the one. And I watched this and I was infuriated. I was genuinely angry that they killed off the girl, because I grew to be really emotionally invested in the relationship that was building between these two characters, right? And so I was upset. I was genuinely sad and angry. And so I'm like, fucking roll the tape. And I did two takes of that whole run of like, Yuko!
Oh my god.
And then, at the end. And the second one, I blew my throat out. I blew my fucking throat out on the second take of it. My god. And I remember, actually, this is funny. I pulled up, I was like, hold on, Tyler, give me 1 second. I pulled up a clip of the scene in Dragon Ball Z when Cell crushes Android 16's head and Gohan does the big like scream and he becomes Super Saiyan 2. I pulled that up from the Kai version, 𝐒𝐚𝐭 𝐑𝐮𝐥𝐞𝐬 as Kid Gohan, and I'm like, okay. And then I did it, and then I did the scream, and I look back and I'm just like, oh, I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of how that turned out. So, so I went off on a very long tangent with that, didn't I?
You keep going on these long tangents, and I'm just like, I don't know where to stop him, man. I'll just let him keep talking.
Sorry, I know. No, please, feel free to stop me. It's your fucking stream, y'all.
I think it's very endearing how passionate you are. Okay?
This is what I live for.
I'm laughing at you, but listen, in chat saying that I'm being mean, okay, listen, I laugh at you, alright?
Lord almighty.
I keep talking.
What is there to say, really? I mean, my god. Jesus.
Yeah?
God. I have to pee. I have to pee really bad. Could you put up like a screensaver real quick, and then I'll be back?
I'm gonna walk your little character off screen. How about that?
Oh, okay. All right. I'll be right back, everybody. I gotta go pee. I'll be right back.
Okay. I said I was gonna do that, but then I realized I don't have the stuff layered. I'm not mean. I genuinely, chat. I genuinely think it's interesting. It's genuinely endearing to hear people talk about what they're passionate about. I'm just not like 100% sure like what to say about some of these things, because I feel like the more questions that I ask, the more mean that it comes out. But I'm not trying to be mean. I want to understand. I want to understand. But then also it's like in trying to understand, I feel like I'm making it more othering. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not like, okay, I am like the farthest thing from a theater kid, so it's just hard to understand, okay? It's like I'm a streamer, which is basically being like, okay, like theater kids and like artists and stuff are like, they're creators, right? And they're like a real factory that like puts stuff together and ships it out. And as a streamer, I'm like a shady factory where I'm taking in like other people's stuff and I'm kind of like dismantling it and then shipping that shit out for parts, or like just slapping my own name on it, like with React content, right? So it's like trying to understand like the natural, I guess, like state of being in being able to like put stuff like that out there, like your voice acting or your art and stuff. I don't know. I admire the confidence. I genuinely admire the confidence. But it's also like streamer brain, so I see confidence and I feel threatened by it. You know what I mean? Understand, but still that. Pippa is an original. I'm not. That's a hard thing for $5. Tildeer, you have autism. Shut up. Brendan James saying $5. Despite it all, I respect a man passionate about his craft. Yeah. Drag Beathing with the $2. Mean Anime Rabbit. Also finish your games, Rabbit. Someday. Andrew Beathing with the $2. After the break time. Time for the hard questions. I didn't have any hard questions prepared. Ask a curve thing with $2. You're doing great, Pippa. You're not mean. Thank you. Thank you. I don't think I'm a little mean. I'm a little mean. A little bit worried this is becoming my personality, but it's okay. Casual anything for $2. I'm taking back the dowry. Lol, a kid, he's nice. A waifu in VR thing for $5. Pippa, stop bullying the Californian. But they make it so easy! They make it so easy, man! City slickers. I'm judging.
Hello?
That was a very theater kid entrance. Holy shit.
Hello?
Don't do that.
You got games on your channel?
This is very cringe. That's unironic cringe.
Yeah, cringe, but I'm free.
You are cringe, but you are free. That is true. How do you get to that state? I need to take notes. I want to be cringe, but free.
Well, I was picked on a lot as a kid.
Oh, I believe it.
To which absolutely fucking no one on earth was surprised.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just kind of got to a point where I'm like, you know what? If people are annoyed by me or like don't want to deal with me or whatever because I'm passionate, I'm obnoxiously fucking passionate about what I love to do, that's fine. That's fair enough. I get it. I've been annoyed by people before too. I've been like, all right, buddy, chill out. But you know what? It's this as a great hedgehog once said.
Oh boy,
this is who I am. So you know.
Did you really just?
I know.
Oh my god!
The chat's saying I'm very bullyable, and I'm like, look, I am.
You are bullyable.
I am. I'm very bullyable. Don't bully me, oh come.
What the fuck? Okay, well now it's weird. Now it's weird. Okay, let's talk about something else. Okay, so
sure.
Okay, well fuck. Now,
Yes.
You don't feel weird? Okay, I'm going back to the same shit that I said on your stream. You don't feel weird, man? You don't feel like, okay, like full mask on, you're not like, oh my god, like I'm saying this stuff and it's like cringe, man.
It's not cringe, it's fucking awesome.
Oh my god. You reek of early 2000s internet.
That's me.
Oh my god. You don't feel like the internet's like a modern thing and you're like you gotta like adjust to it at all. You're not trying to keep up with the hip culture?
No, I mean I do care very much about like, you know, evolving with the times and stuff, absolutely. But I also excuse me.
That's why you're Reekable, maybe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing is VTubers actually also were like lovely comfort material when I was going through a really hard time a while ago, and I loved all the Hololive girls and stuff, and you know, a lot of the other ones. I love the independent ones and things.
Who's your Oshi?
And who's my Oshi? Oh, that's tough.
Oh my god, he doesn't even know. Are you a deadbeat?
I am a deadbeat. I love Callie stuff. Absolutely.
Nice.
I think Guda's fucking hysterical.
Well, everybody likes Gura.
Of course, yeah. Kiara is a weirdo, and I love her. You know what? Okay, once again, gun to my head, Kiara is probably because
really?
She's just like you know what? Because she is obnoxiously passionate in the same way as me, and I really, really identify with that. And she's just I don't know. There's just something. It's a vibe with her that like I really connect with. I think she's just lovely. She's just like a ton of fun and creative and. Yeah, I don't know, but they're legit. Like they're all Iris is funny, Fauna, you know, all of them. They're all really fun. And I've gotten to know a lot of the, or not like personally, but like just like watching the 𝑉_shoujo girls and some of the ones that have left recently and otherwise, and some indie ones and things. And I don't know, they're all just fun and chill. Hell, even some of the Japanese ones. I used to watch Okayu.
What do you mean even? What do you mean even?
Well,
bro,
no, I
will kick your ass.
No. I say even in terms of like, as in like, no. They as in like, I can't understand what they're saying usually.
What?
But they are still, but they are still very. No. I'm talking about when I tune in to watch them, like as they're actually streaming. No, clips are one thing for sure. No, like when I'm watching just like them live, like Okayu. I used to watch like. Super late at night or early in the morning, I would watch her Donkey Kong 64 streams, and I'm just like, I know that I can only understand very, very minor bits of what she's talking about, but like, there's just something so like comfy and like relaxing and nice about it. And I love the relationship she has with Korone, and Korone is hilarious too, and you know Marin and all that. You know, I don't know, they're all fun. It's just it's a cool thing, and I know I'm not like really like super part of that community necessarily because I've only been having this model for. About like 3 months or so, I think, maybe less than that. But it's fun, and I love just having my little character and and I've got 2 other different versions of him as well. I've got these kind of like style changes that I introduced very recently. I've got like a cute kind of like old school 2000s toothpastey colored like Happy Boy one, and then I've got my dark evil edgy one that I change to depending on when people donate for super chats and stuff like that. So
well, I am going to cue you in on something or clue. There is a extension called LiveTL, and you can download that, and then so people will translate in these JP VTubers chats, and you can just with the extension basically have free subtitles.
Ooh.
And with that, I am going to recommend the #1 best VTuber in the world, hands down. She is the fluffiest sheep, and her name is Tsunamaki Watame. And I will send you a link to her channel, and you gotta watch her. And if you don't watch her, and if you don't buy her membership, then I don't know. I don't know.
Hold on. Tsunawaki Watame.
Tsunomaki. Tsunomaki.
Suno. Sorry, I can't see my keyboard. Suno.
Watame.
Love of Christ, type the right word. I know of Watame Senpai. She's
Don't say senpai!
Cute.
You're not part of Hololive!
No, I'm so used to just people saying it that way.
No!
That's
you don't get that honor!
My bad. I've seen her around. Yeah, no, she's adorable. I love her. I love sheep girls and goat girls. They're very cute. So.
Oh, so it's all about appearance,
No, that's not necessarily true.
Watame she's a very comfy personality. She's very sweet. She has the best singing streams of all time. So you gotta tune into those. You gotta watch her. All right, she is #1 streamer. Okay, you gotta watch her. Okay, and if you like sheep girls and stuff, you should also check out Chikafuji Lisa. She's an independent VTuber.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
I love sheep girls. Chris Niosi 2023. Jesus Christ.
That's good taste. I agree.
Oh, heavens.
So, who in VShojo did you watch?
I've tuned into Snuffy. I've tuned into...
She's not VShojo.
Yeah, that's the thing. I should mention that some of these are asterisk not with them anymore, but...
No, yeah, Snuffy was never part of VShojo. You fake VTuber fan!
Wait, you know what? Okay. Let me just answer. Let me just answer this as other ones.
Whoa!
Other ones that are not Hololive, and I don't necessarily know of what label they are or if they're not part of a label, whatever. I've seen Snuffy, I've seen Vey, I've seen Mousy, I've seen Yanners, I've seen 𝐂𝐚𝐭 𝐑𝐮𝐿, the Hungarian cat girl. I've seen a bit of her. 𝐂𝐚𝐭 𝐑𝐮𝐿.
I like her.
𝐂𝐚𝐭 I've watched. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's French, so I mean, like, come on.
Oh, you like the frogs?
And, shut up.
Oh my God. See, I thought being a frog was a mark against her. I thought just her personality made up for it. But Jesus Christ, you like the French?
No, and her personality is also really funny because she's such a fucking troll. So.
Oh my God.
But
fucking normie.
I think there's a couple other ones too, but those are a bunch. Yeah. I just find like lots of also like, various ones that just kind of get suggested to me, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I check them out. Some of them, it's funny. Some of them I only know. Oh, like Fillion. Fillion. I've never actually tuned into her streams before. I only know her through shorts. But I'm like, oh, I'll watch some Fillion shorts because they're fucking funny and I really like them. So I have different kind of like.
You're very entry level.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. You don't listen. You're a VTuber. You don't even have an art tag.
That's true. I don't. Yeah, it's weird. My only usage of Tumblr anymore for the last like several years
my God.
Is
here we go.
I go to the Terrain of Magical Expertise tag to see fan art, and then sometimes when people tweet fan art at me or whatever.
You know what? You know what VTubers do that you should do?
What's up?
Have an art tag.
I should.
Yeah.
Really should.
People drew interactions of our people drew some of our interactions, and they can't tag you in them. They have to just at you.
What about wait, hold on. Okay, what if it's here today, right now? What if it's 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭?
That is horrible.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay.
Hashtag 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭.
All right.
𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐿𝐿𝐵𝑜PHART. There you go. Perfect. I did it. I saved the world.
Your humor is really stuck in the early 2000s, buddy. You want to you want to work on that? You want to work on that a little bit? You want to work on that a little bit?
That was early 2010s.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's being pretty generous. That's being very generous, I would say, actually. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
So why did you become a VTuber?
Because I thought that it would be really fun to have a model of my character. I've had different versions of 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐴 for many, many years, and this particular version was designed by my friend 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 who's a great artist on Twitter. And it was modeled by my friend 𝐵GM, who is actually going to become a VTuber very soon, and is building a much more elaborate model for himself right now. But I asked, like, hey, could you, like, I did it was funny. I did an initial design. In fact, actually, I can even, if you want to pull this on screen, I'll send you a little image to...
Making me do work!
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
So, I did a bunch of designs for these, like, kind of different versions of 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐴. And I was drawing them, and then Toxic was like, hand those over to me. And then cracks her knuckles, and then did these, like, beautifully crafted designs of the 3 different sort of versions of 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐴 that I switched between here. And if you want to, if you're able to pull them on screen.
They're on screen already, idiot!
Oh, right. Well, sorry for the lag. Jeez. God.
Get better internet!
Yeah, and then I went to German. I said, hey, can you go ahead and, you know, like model a thing for me in Blender? And he's like, yeah, of course. And in like literally like a couple days, he got this model done for me. And then like a couple more days after, you know, a decent while, he went ahead and made the other versions that I could swap between through, you know, the program and everything, which was super cool. And yeah, I love them. They're kind of a, you know, representative of various you know, iterations of my character over there, because the original like very, very, very first version of 𝐒𝐵𝐴𝐵 was literally like a white Kirby with a fucking Link hat. It was
digging through the archives.
Creative. Oh yeah, I was literally 𝐒𝐵𝐴𝐵 12 back then, so you know.
So is this character a self-insert then, or like an original character?
He's kind of a combination of both, yeah, because I actually do, well, because I do have like another character that is more based on like my real life self that like actually looks like me. This, remember what I mentioned before about when I was conceptualizing all the TTA and tone characters, is 𝐒𝐵𝐴𝐵 started as like an interpretive drawing of what my screen name would look like as a character. So that was why it was kind of a combination of, it is like a Sona, it's a self-insert, but because it's not like based on how I actually look, because I'm not a, you know, tiny cyborg ink thing. And it kind of evolved from like, you know, the Kirby to like this kind of imp creature with elements of like, you know, Toon Link and Geno and Mega Man and all sorts of different influences me. It's kind of this weird hodgepodge of a bunch of shit. I just kind of combined them together and then changed and evolved. And then he had, you know, the gi, and then kind of like the tattered sort of like thief clothes, and then the cape and everything. And then so this current version you're seeing is like, you know, many years of iterations and elements kind of all merged together into one thing and everything. So
and you don't like roleplay as this character or anything, it's just kind of like your avatar.
Yeah, he's you know, it's not. And also the thing is, because my real identity as Chris Niosi is like, you know, it's I've been publicly like known
your
as
brand.
Like, yeah, I'm Chris quote 𝐒𝐵𝐴𝐵 unquote Niosi is like kind of the full, like, that's my way of kind of going half and half. So 𝐒𝐵𝐴𝐵 is really just like, yeah, he's like kind of my avatar into the cyber world if I'm not actually on camera as myself, which is when I do like TikToks and stuff, I'm usually on camera myself, but you know.
Oh my god, you're on TikTok.
I am on TikTok. I joined TikTok, I think like the end of last year. I can't remember. It was pretty recent, but it's been fun doing stuff like that.
Are you trying to like make it in the like, how do I say this? Like the internet landscape? Like, are you trying to become more of like a digital content creator type?
Well,
or influencer type? Cause like you put out like a bunch of stuff already. Like you made a game. You have like the web series. You have a bunch of shit already out there. But like, are you trying to make more your identity like online stuff now?
I am, because that is what it takes to get your stuff recognized. I think that it's easier for, there are certainly lightning strikes that I'm very happy for of people who like are not well known, that are artists and creators and writers and, you know, type of people that don't already have some kind of big following, and then they come out with some kind of like personal project and then it takes off. But it is easier to build an audience and get a followership from making your own stuff when you have a following. So everything I do, my streaming, my video creation, my voiceover roles, you know, all the stuff that I'm doing on everything, it is all, I know, and I know that on some level it's like, oh, you know, all the businessy stuff, oh, it's all about the brand. But what it really is for me is it's because I love, more than anything else, more than performing, more than drawing, more than any individual thing I do, I love creating. I love making a finished product. I love having a story to tell. That's why I'm so fucking proud of the Tome series, of the Tome game. The current project that I'm working on that I'll probably talk about in a little while. That's like incredibly fucking meaningful to me. You know, it's all because I want people to see what it is that I'm doing, because certainly there's an element of like, oh, you know, you should be making stuff for yourself. Like for sure, that is true. But I think also like when you make art, you want it to be consumed. You want people to experience it. And especially more than anything, I mean, like the biggest compliment to me is when people say like something you did impacted me in a positive way. Like I learned something, or it got me through a hard time, or like it inspired me to want to do stuff. Like that is the stuff. Like if I'm just simply entertaining people with what I do, with anything that I do, that's awesome. Like that, just on a very base level, like that's great. But if something that I did impacted you in some kind of like really deeply meaningful way, like that is like, that's the fucking meaning of life for me. You know, that sounds really like hippy dippy, but it's
no,
true.
It does.
It's really true. Yeah.
But no, I understand. As a streamer, it's not quite like as deep, I guess. But like you said, like watching the Hololive girls got you through a rough patch and stuff. So like as a streamer, like it feels nice to see the same thing.
Absolutely. And also I think that there's nothing wrong with just like having fun with like, oh, I can just, you know, press a button and go live and stream video games and people come in and vibe and commentate and, you know, bully each other and, you know, make friends, etc. So and legit, I will say, and to all of you guys watching right now, everybody out there, I mean this sincerely. Your fan base is very generous. They're very nice folks. And no, I'm seriously. Like, when you guys rated me a couple nights ago, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not used to this. I've never had that many people in my chat in my fucking life, and everybody was so funny and nice and cool, and you know, I don't know. You guys are stand-up people, and I'm honored to be within your presence, and I'm honored that Pippa decided to fucking lower her standards to fucking having me in a room here. So
lower my what? I bring anyone on, man. It doesn't. It's not like. Listen. Never mind. I don't really know. I'm not good at like nice stuff.
I'm listening.
I'm not good at being nice.
Do it.
Being nice is really fucking hard. Okay. Listen. I am happy to bring on any, you know, like person who does stuff. You know, this is. I think in general, people who do stuff are interesting, and in the sense of like people that actually, like, you know, creators, people that have accomplished things, even if it's not like fucking, you know, you don't have to be like a fucking A-list celebrity or whatever the hell. Is that how that little thing goes? You don't have to be like Ryan Gosling to be interesting, you know?
Ryan Gosling.
What? First person who came to mind. Leave me alone.
No. Fair enough. Can I ask you a self-indulgent question?
Sure.
Okay. So other than when you found out that I voiced Colress in Generations, right? When you were looking into like my checkered past and seeing all the stuff that I've made over the years, was there anything that you knew me for that you had seen, like when you, like, you know, back in the day or over time or anything like that?
Yick. that was the day, the controversy around Yick.
You hadn't seen like Brawl Taunts, you hadn't seen like Anything like that? The Newgrounds?
No, on Newgrounds, I was playing video games, man. I wasn't watching shitty ass animations. Fuck you.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah.
Hell no, man.
Also,
I don't like web series, so ha.
No, I mean I get it. You know, it's an investment, but
it is.
It's funny because like I'm one of those weird people where like, and I'm sure like if I looked at the chat to see like all the different examples of what I'm about to say, like people have it's like Tim Allen talked about this once because of all the different shit that he's done over his career, where like he doesn't quite know how he comes into people's lives sometimes. So for me, it's like, oh, dude, you're the Brawltons guy. Oh, you're the Tome guy. Oh, you're the Alex Yick guy. Oh, you're the Mob Psycho Reagan guy. You're the, you know, everybody has like different, you know, things that they know me. Some people it's like what's it called? The Super Mario RPG Rust Forest music video that I did when I was in fucking high school, you know, stuff like that. Like there's all sorts of, because I've done so many things that people have all sorts of different sort of like impressions.
Wait, did you say Yick? Hold, I didn't even realize. You said Yick?
Yeah, I did.
You said Yick? Oh my god.
I said the thing. Are you happy now?
I'm happy. Oh my god. Say it again.
Your happiness is my suffering. No, that's the one that you get. That's the
no. Say it again. Say it again.
Go back and listen.
How much I gotta pay you to say it in Cora's voice? Well, we can't do that. But
first of all, I can't because I would like to not get in trouble with that. Thank you very much. But good lord.
Can we barter?
Have me back.
Back. I don't really do like multiple interviews.
No, it doesn't have to be another interview. We could play video games or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know. You're not scared off yet?
No.
Oh.
No, you're a funny little weird rabbity thing.
What the fuck?
Are you kidding me?
I'm honored. Question mark. Okay.
I'll join for a Y2K stream, or like if you wanted to. I don't know, we can play fucking Jackbox or something. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I don't know how good of content playing Yick would be with multiple people, but I don't know. Would be kind of funny to make you redub over the lines or something.
Sure, I don't know. Anything you want. And if I think of something, you are welcome on my channel anytime. And any of you guys, if you're not bored to fucking death, tomorrow I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be finishing Mega Man Battle Network 4. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow at noon PST my time on my channel. So if you guys are interested.
Oh my god, shameless shilling.
Yeah.
I need to teach you about VTuber etiquette, because there's a lot of things that fly here. All right, that do not fly literally anywhere else. So if you're gonna be collabing with VTubers, you gotta kick your ass.
Fair enough. You know.
All right.
Well, you know what? Listen. I'll excuse myself because you were talking shit on Twitter, which is what led us to this point in the first place. So I'll be like, all right.
I was not talking shit. I was just. Listen,
put me
all
in the
I said.
D tier of Cora's voice.
Because nobody compares to Lee-Chang. That's just fact. Like, I'm sorry.
Listen, Wai Chang, his voice is pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie, so I do get that.
Actually, according to his website biography, it's pronounced Yi-Chang. Fake fan.
I've known Chang for a very long time. I'm anything but a fake fan. So thank you very much.
Really. Say 10 cool things about him.
Okay. He's handsome. He's a good cook. He likes anime. He's a good writer. He's really good at pronouncing names correctly, which is a big plus for being a voiceover actor. He makes cool covers of anime songs. He voiced a character in my game that was super cool and got to do a low voice that he doesn't often get to do.
What game? What game are you talking about? Pokemon Masters?
No, in the Tome game, he played a character for me.
Oh.
We both like.
Maybe
Pokemon.
I'll have to play now.
We both like Pokemon. We both like Mamoru Miyano, the Seiyu. How many was that? 8 or 9? I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't actually paying attention. I didn't actually expect you to.
Oh, well, good. How about that? Yeah, not a fake fan. Not so much of a fucking fake fan now, am I, huh?
No, I'm still judging! So, fuck you!
Okay, fine.
Okay. So, anyways.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
That I'm handsome?
No. You look like off-brand Matthew Mercer. Mixed with Ego Raptor.
Wow. never fucking heard that one in my life. You know what's weird? Okay, let me say something. On TikTok, so I got both of those two a lot. And first of all, the Mercer one I'll take as a compliment. The Aaron one, I'm just like, dude, I do not nearly have that many pounds on me. Like, sorry. Yeah, I said it. I fucking said it.
What the fuck? Oh my god, write that down! He said something mean!
But I gotta say, on TikTok, ever since I started doing videos on there, I literally cannot even fucking remember how many people, oh, you look like this Hollywood actor, and this one, and this guy, and this guy.
Nobody's saying that.
Like, Jason Schwartzman, and like, seriously, there were so many.
Nobody's saying that.
Every fucking time, every single goddamn time I make a video where I'm on camera, I get like a new one of like some other actor, and I look up who they are, and I'm just like, I mean, I kind of see it a little bit, but like, I don't know. I have no idea. So.
Are you trying to humble brag right now?
No, it's not a humble brag. It's confusion. No, listen, the humble brag. The one humble brag is like, if I'm even as remotely, even like a fraction as handsome as Matthew fucking Mercer, like, I'll take that. All the other ones, just like, it's more so I just am confused by that. Can I tell you something?
What?
Tell you something, by the way?
What?
Okay, blow your fucking mind right now.
What?
All right, and this is a humble brag, 100%.
Oh my god, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Many moons ago, I met Matt Mercer at Comic-Con in San Diego. And I went up to him and I introduced myself and we got talking because at the time he was doing a live action parody series called There Will Be Brawl for The Escapist, which was basically Smash Brothers Brawl as like an HBO crime drama, and it was really fucking cool. And in it,
never heard of it.
He played Ganondorf on camera in this parody that he produced with a friend of his. And I was a fan of it. And then he was like, "Oh, dude, I've seen your like video game parodies on Newgrounds," and I'm just like, what? Excuse me? So he had fucking seen like the Nintendo collabs and like Brawl Taunts and all that. I'm just like, oh my god, dude, what? So then, like a year or two later, we were at MagFest, which is a great convention. If you guys have never been to that one, please go tomorrow. And
I don't think it's tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow. But I said, hey, I'm doing this one segment that's a parody of the Subspace Emissary where Ganondorf was talking to Master Hand. And I had Josh Tomomoto voice Master Hand in it. And I said, hey, Matt, can you play Ganondorf? Like, can you do like your kind of like New Yorkish, like mob boss version of Ganondorf? Like, Master, you know, all that. He's like, yeah, sure. So we got a microphone and went into a room and he recorded a bunch of takes. And then my friend Joel, who works at Studio Yada now, animated it, and it was hilarious. And it was the last segment after the credits in I think it was the third and final Nintendo collab that we did. This is like, God, like 2010 or something. And then, fucking, here we are in the year 2023, and this motherfucker is the real voice of Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm just like, what is my life? Like, I just was like, I could not possibly be prouder of a person. I was like, wow. I have not gotten the chance to play through the game or see the cutscenes or anything yet, but like, as soon as I saw that trailer where he's like, yes, and I will rule the land, I was like, oh! Like, I knew, like, right away. And I was just, oh my god. So.
You're a serious fanboy for voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's more of a passion for you, voice acting or animation?
You know, it is animation. Even
really?
Though, yeah, because you
Name
know
10 animators.
Let's see. Jake Vance, Joel Melk, Jaxie Tomar, Josh Zarel Palmer, Mel Albino, Ego Raptor. Does he count? Is he still an animator? Does he count?
I don't know. I don't know any of these people. I don't know shit about animation. Like Don Bluth. Man. That's the limit of my knowledge.
Yeah, sure. Don Bluth. I am Walt Disney. The reason that I say that is because as much as I love performing, I really do, and I love all the voiceover stuff that I get to do. My passion more than anything else is creating. And
you keep saying that.
Well, because this is the thing. I picked up animation so that I could create. When I was a kid, and I dreamed about like making my own cartoons and video games and movies and yada yada yada, I was like, I want to do that. But I realized, well, if I want to do that, I gotta fucking learn how to animate, because I can't fucking sit around and wait for some company to give me $1 million and make a fucking show or whatever. I have to do it myself. So I went and I got, I picked up a copy of Flash, back when it was Macromedia Flash. This is before it was Adobe Flash, so once again, it shows my fucking age. And originally I was going to pick it up because I wanted to learn how to program and make video games. And then I learned very quickly that I fucking hate programming. It was not fun, but I loved drawing and I loved making little shitty movies. And I used to make like cartoons in PowerPoint that were just like scrolling images and little shit like that. It was real rudimentary stuff. And then I taught myself more and more and more. Then I went to school for it. I have a 2D animation, BA, my diploma or whatever. And I did it because I wanted to be able to create a finished product and work with other artists and, background designers and character designers and voice actors and musicians and editors and, all these things to make a finished product. So at the end of the day, my passion is, this is the funny thing. I enjoy doing voiceover more, like the act of doing it. I enjoy doing that more than I do doing animation, like the actual, drawing frame by frame, everything for the stuff that I'm making.
Well, because it's laborious.
Yeah, but it's because I love creating and storytelling so much that to answer your question, my passion is more so in animation. That's more so.
But your passion is not animation; it's just creating in general.
Yes, yeah, and the animation is the part of that, and the voice acting is part of that too, because usually I'm voicing a character of some kind in my own project, because I voiced 𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐵𝐻 in the 2011 Tome web series, and I
want I'm gonna interrupt you. Okay, I watched the fucking only playthrough of 𝐒𝐚𝐭 𝑑𝐮𝐥𝐞𝐬, but you don't voice act your own fucking self-insert in the game?
I don't.
What?
I don't. Yes.
How does that make any sense? It's supposed to be your self-insert. What?
So here's what happened. I decided towards probably the last half a year of development for the game, the Tome RPG is its own separate universe. Originally, I was going to have the original cast from the 2011 web series reprise their roles. We actually did the voices of the characters in the demo that we did with the Kickstarter back in 2017. Through various circumstances and things that I have been mulling over for the last year or so of development, I eventually decided that to differentiate it as its own universe, I wanted to go with a completely separate cast. There were a few actors from the original, actually, including myself. I did some NPCs, little one-line, minor characters.
Oh, you admit you're an NPC?
Yeah, but I wanted to basically to make it fair to the original actors. I didn't feel that it would be morally okay to be but I'm gonna keep my character and fuck everybody else. So I thought, no. If I'm recasting everybody, I'm recasting everybody, right? So I actually went through quite an extensive process to find. I wanted to get somebody to play 𝐒𝐵𝐵𝐻 that would be very emotionally meaningful to me, and I had quite a few people that were voice actors that I looked up to and was inspired by, that were, great folks that would have done a great job. And ultimately, I went with this gentleman, Aaron Dismuke, who, when he was a kid, he was the voice of Alphonse Elric on Fullmetal Alchemist, on the original, the 2003 Fullmetal Alchemist series. And now he's, around my age, and he, plays older characters and stuff. And he's the lead character of Dr. Stone as well, and tons of other stuff. He's awesome. And I went to him and he mulled it over, and I looked at a few different options, and ultimately he saw the trailer for the game and he's like, this project looks really, really cool and I would love to be in this. And I was like, I would be honored for you to voice my internet namesake character. And the crazy thing was, when we started recording, he was making so many of the same acting choices that I would, and I was like, wow, we really are kind of sharing the brain cell a little bit on this performance, and it made my job with directing him so fucking easy. And he did such a great job, and I felt I felt totally comfortable and warm and happy with him playing my character. And funnily enough, the other self-insert character I mentioned that is more like actually like me, I'm probably not going to voice him either, to be honest. I have someone in mind that I want to get, and I'm okay with that. You know, I think that sometimes, and that's happened before with various things. You know, like Gravity Falls. Alex Hirsch, Dipper is based on him, but he doesn't voice Dipper. You know, so that does happen from time to time. So, I have a question for you.
But I'm the interviewer.
That's true. Is my question invalid?
I don't know. I don't know what the question is.
I was going to ask, do we want to take some questions from the audience, or is that a horrible, horrible idea?
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Okay.
I like that idea.
I'm scared.
It was your idea. What do you mean you're scared?
That's true. I'm scared that I'm going to get very weird, intrusive, uncomfortable questions.
Well, hey, have you ever heard of this thing called the Streisand effect?
Do I want to know what that is?
It's when you try to shut something down, people are more curious about it.
Yes.
So when you say, I don't want weird, uncomfortable questions, you know what they're gonna do.
And here they come, all of the uncomfortable questions.
Yeah.
God almighty. My underwear color,
Oh, did you actually bring it up?
Gray.
There's a Q&A tab on YouTube.
Oh, is there? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So,
so how does it work?
Okay, so you see the top chat button?
Yeah.
You just click that and then click questions.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm seeing, got a question for Kerbifer. Ask something? But I don't, hold on, is there a way for me to see?
Yeah, you click questions, and then it's like another chat box. It looks just like the regular chat box.
Let's see. Oh yeah, no, I'm not seeing it. Huh.
Well, you are infamously very good with technology, so...
Yes, absolutely. Well, how about I just trust you to select questions that are fun and interesting, and not horrible.
We'll define horrible. Oh, only the streamer can see it. Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, I learned something new.
Mods would use that power for evil, absolutely.
Okay. So define what's your limits? What's your limits? You can just say pass too.
Sure. I think you know what my limits are, probably.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I like pressing the limits, so.
Okay.
All right.
Be gentle.
I'm not gentle. Is your model based on Mega Man Legend art style?
Yes, it is actually. I'm a huge fan of Mega Man Legends.
Yeah,
You did
the normal boots video. Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did an episode of Did You Know Gaming that I actually wrote as well. I voiced it. Yeah, it was the because funnily enough, I did a series of these videos called Did You Know Voice Acting, you know, go figure. That were all trivia about different voice acting stuff. And Shane, the head of Did You Know Gaming, reached out to me and said, hey, would you like, actually he's British, so hey, would you love to
disgusting.
Would you like to write a few episodes of Did You Know Gaming? And I'm like, sure, absolutely. So I wrote I think about like 6 or 7 episodes, and that Mega Man one was one of the ones that I did. And I asked, hey, could I voice this one? Because I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so I did. I also voiced one that was about the Mario and Luigi series of RPGs for the GBA and DS too. But I love Mega Man Legends. Very, very, very sad about Legends 3 not happening. I actually had the honor of getting to meet Keiji Inafune-san at New York Comic Con many years ago, back when he was still working for Capcom. Before, which we won't talk about that. But yeah, I love low poly 3D art styles, you know, N64 and PlayStation 1 type of stuff like this, and that actually made getting the model created a significantly easier process for Germ as well, to when he was creating my model and everything too. So I love that stuff, absolutely.
Have you ever worked with Chris O'Neill or Lyle Rath?
Yes, I've not gotten to work with Lyle before. I've met Lyle before. We've hung out a few times. He's great. But Chris, yes, I've worked with Chris on a few different things. I've guested on Oni Plays a couple times. He actually voiced, I mentioned earlier, he voiced a couple characters in the Tome game. And in the Tome series as well. He and Zach were a pair of like those little silly characters that were parodies of the Hellbenders guys and stuff. So yeah, he's awesome, and I mentioned before I just got dinner with him yesterday for the first time in a while. So he's a good guy.
Huh. Best flavor of soap?
The kind that doesn't hurt my butthole after pass.
Gross. Are you yicking out right now?
I don't have hand tracking, so just pretend. Okay, I'm. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, you're really doing your best.
I'm trying to position myself.
And your best is not very good.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
What the hell is going on?
You got to yell. I'm yicking out.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'm totally yicking out right now.
There we
Flip
go.
it. Good.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
Okay, how can I become a VA?
Ooh. To become a voice actor, you must become first an actor. If you're in school
kids.
or otherwise. No, not necessarily.
No.
You don't necessarily have to be like a theater kid. Theater certainly is a good way to start. There's stand-up, there's radio, there's music, there's singing, all sorts of stuff. Learn to work with your voice, learn performance, learn to be a storyteller. That is what it's going to take. You cannot be a voice actor without being an actor. That doesn't mean that you have to do like live action or, be like a theater person or whatever it is. Because again, I'm not. There are lots of people that are working proficiently in the business right now that don't have a traditional background like that. But the more you study performance, the better.
And the more people you know.
Absolutely. My basic bitch answer is also go to iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, read everything, and if by the end of that time, if you still want to do this, then pursue it. If you are discouraged in any way by reading everything on that site, be something else. Do something with your life with real meaning that's not being a performer. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. So.
I had a Gigabrain moment and realized I could screen share the questions box.
Oh, cool. Okay.
There you go. Anything? I can just keep scrolling through slowly.
Sure.
Pick something out you like.
All right. Jungle Jim asked feet.
Why would you pick that one out? Okay.
For the meme.
You learn quick.
I want you to decide which ones that you like.
What, with questions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite Berserk arc?
Ooh. You know what? I have only seen the animated material. So I haven't seen the manga stuff that's after that. So I only know the Golden Age. I would like to get into the manga, especially knowing that his Miura-san's team is working on the rest of the intended ending and stuff. But for the time being, I've only ever seen the Golden Age arc, and I do really, really enjoy it. So.
Chinks out to my ass. You seem pretty down to earth and stable, but do you notice some people occasionally get an ego from a faux rock star status in the niche but rabid fanbase anime VA community?
It has happened. I think that sometimes that is a phase that happens for anybody that makes any kind of fame, not even just in the voiceover business, but any kind of entertainment stuff. It happens. And because the opposite end is there's the people that are just like, I hate myself. I'm terrible.
That's
God,
me. That
everything
was
I
me.
do is and we've all been there. Literally it's that meme of like either like I think I'm a god, I'm perfect, everything I do is immaculate, and then the other day is just I hate myself, I'm trash, I'm the worst, fuck me, oh my god.
Which one are you?
So, well, as the person said, I try my best to be in the middle. I try to be humble. I try to just enjoy things for what they are and just, continue to improve as a human being.
Okay, but if it's like a scale, which side is it tipping towards?
Maybe it tips a little bit more towards the ego because I do have a level of self-confidence.
Oh,
and
fucking narcissist. Okay.
Yeah. I am in love with the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, you said that. A lot of people made fun of that.
Maha.
All right. What creation from Old Newgrounds era are you the most proud of? That's from Mr. Yura.
Next to Tome, which was its own, kind of major category of things. I really love the 2 Super Mario RPG music videos that I did, Lost Forest and Waltz of the Forest, because those were just pure unbridled, like not motivated by wanting to be popular or wanting to make money or wanting to be respected. They were just, I love Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, and I just wanted to make something that was in tribute to that. And then they, unbeknownst to me, they went like fucking hyper viral in Japan on 𝐂𝐚𝐭 𝑑𝐮𝐥𝐞𝐬. And we're like this huge meme, and I was very happy. And people did like Japanese dubs and like reanimated versions of them, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So that, to see that kind of influence with like the shared love and everything was just really cool to see that. So
that must have been pretty amazing. Have you worked with Zone-sama?
No, I know a couple folks that are good friends with Zone, but I've never gotten to interact with them before. I think they're a brilliant animator, and Zontan is really cool. So, but yeah, not gotten to work with them directly before, sadly.
From Deep Sea, do you denounce the crimes of Tomar in his hunt for the Tomar Emeralds?
Tomar did nothing wrong. That's my answer. Next.
Okay, from Joe Ray 6, Mega Man Legends 2, Let's Play when?
If people would be interested in that, I mean, I could pick them up. We're never going to get a Mega Man Legends collection because there's really, I mean, there's 3 games. There's not really much reason to do that, but I could pick them up on maybe the PlayStation Store or something if it's possible. We'll say, maybe, yeah, never say never. Maybe someday. Who knows?
Okay, I saw one, I guess there's another Mob Psycho something coming out, and they're asking if you're gonna continue being Reagan? Is that how you say his name?
What is the Mob Psycho thing coming out?
I don't know. I scrolled past it like a dumbass.
I'm not playing it. I genuinely hadn't heard anything new. To answer the question, if there is any new, if they ever do any kind of Mob Psycho like future stuff, I would love to continue voicing Reagan. Absolutely. But yeah, I know there's like a Reagan spin-off manga that takes place like after the end of the show. So if they ever like animate that as like an OVA or something, I mean, you know, bring it on. I would love that. But someday, I hope.
All right. From Mech, any awkward jobs or regrettable jobs, like working with uppity voice actors?
One time, I worked on this one live action dub that was like this thing that was basically like a religious propaganda piece, and I didn't know what it was. So it was for a studio. That called me in. They just called in actors, and which is usually cool because sometimes you don't even audition. You just get called in. And it's cool, free work, absolutely. So I went in, and then they showed me the material, and like at the end of the movie, I had to play this character. I won't even say like what language it was because I don't want to give too many hints about what this was. But it was there were these characters sitting around, like, you know, this live action thing. These people sitting around in like a circle and reading like, I guess, sermons or passages or whatever from their Bible, and it was like this. And God shall smite anyone who doesn't agree with us. And I'm just like, I am super not comfortable with this. And the recording engineer through the glass was like, I'm so sorry. So we just have to get this done. I'm just like, there's no credits on this, right? Like, no. I'm like, cool. So yeah, that was just like, it's a paycheck.
All right, go find it, guys.
Whatever.
Go find it.
Lord.
Following up on that, are there any decisions you regret making during your career? Other than that one.
Yeah. I mean, I've certainly had lots of regrets throughout my life, but I think in a very general sense, like every year of my life, I've always tried to improve. Every like project I've ever done, everything I've ever worked on, and everything I've ever, you know, just my whole life is one big like series of stepping stones to something bigger and better. And I don't mean that in terms of like a ladder climbing way. It just means in terms of
Nope, you already said it. The implications were there.
Oh my god. No, I mean, like, I like for everything that I do to be better than what came before. You know, who I am, what I'm making, what I'm saying, you know, how I present myself, and, you know, the quality of what I'm doing, and just all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have plenty of regrets, but you know what? I try not to live too much in that world, and I try to just kind of look forward to, you know, the future, and etc. So.
All right. I found the question from before. Would you go back to Crunchyroll for the inevitable Reagan spinoff? Oh, okay, there we go. I would love to see you voice him again.
I hope so. I
wasn't done reading!
I'm sorry!
No, keep talking now. Keep talking.
I would love to if it happens. I hope so. Maybe someday.
No, Was Alex being a lame Redditor intentional? I don't think he would.
He's not a Redditor. Reddit didn't exist in the time period that he's in the story. So no, he's not a fucking Redditor, for Christ's sake.
Are you a Redditor?
No, honestly.
No, you hesitated.
No.
You
seriously.
hesitated.
No, seriously. I barely use Reddit for fucking anything. Like, seriously. I think,
really?
You know what? The one thing that I use it for, and it's actually very seldom, is I go to, what the fuck is it? I go to r/anime dubs whenever I've worked on like simuldub projects where like a new episode comes out every week. I would go and look at some of the feedback on like episodes like with Mob Psycho and some of that stuff. But that's really it. Like I don't use Reddit for anything else. I don't even have like a Tome or 𝐿𝐴𝐻 or like fan subreddit or something. I actually, one of my friends that I saw today told me that there's a Reddit dedicated to them, and it's not about anything to do with their voice acting. It's like all people like being like fucking weird creeps about them, and I'm just like, gross. Wow. So
they're like, you have to elaborate on that. What do you mean, like weird creeps? Is it like an echo chamber of hate or something?
I didn't press further, but I imagine just like gross people being like, feet pics or some shit. I don't know, some shit like that. I have no idea. I didn't want to look too far into that one, but yeah. No, I barely use Reddit. Sounds like something a Redditor would say. No, I swear to Christ, I don't know what else to say otherwise. I'm sorry.
All right, this is from Bleach Brain. Have you wanted to try non-voice acting?
So I'm assuming that they mean like on-camera acting. I've done very little of that, but funnily enough, so a project that I've been working on as of late, I'm going to give you an exclusive.
Oh.
I'm going to give you an exclusive.
Oh, yes, please.
You ready for this?
All right.
So, a project that I've been working on this year for the 12th anniversary of the Tome web series is I've been doing a special edition version of the series called The Terrain of Magical Expertise A to Z. What this is, and maybe you've seen, there have been some anime that have done this before where they'll take the episodes of a series and they'll remix them into movies, right? Like they say, like you have like 26 episodes, and they'll do like a trilogy of movies, a few hours each or whatever. Right? So, Tome was about 16 episodes, and I took those episodes and combined them into movies.
Your model is the internet. The internet's going bad.
Oh no! Oh really? Oh no!
Yeah.
Am I like? Uh-oh.
Yep, going retro.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh no! Sorry. Well, I just pretend I'm an N64 character with
all right.
frame rate. Excuse me. So the A to Z trilogy is like a remixed kind of special edition version of Tome, where I added some new animated sequences and various things that kind of tell the perspective more so from my character 𝐿𝐴𝐻/𝒀𝐿, which is like a kind of an alternate identity. It's like he has two different accounts on the MMO that he switches between. This whole kind of thing. So the third and final installment of this trilogy, which is called 𝑧𝒀𝐿's Decision, or sorry, 𝑧𝒀𝐿's Resolution. There we go. The third and final of those is going to be coming out on the in July. I'll say that in July. Don't have a date yet, but it's coming out over the summer. And it is going to feature a new expanded ending to the series that takes place after where the final episode of the show left off. The reason I bring this up and why it's relevant to the question is because it features a live action sequence starring me. And it was my first time in many, many, many years trying live action, like on camera acting. And I had a good buddy of mine, Corey Holland, film it for me and directed, and we did all the whole thing and everything. And I did my best. I don't know if it's a good performance because I'm inexperienced to that, so it was a little weird. But it's being edited and we're working on it now, and there will be some more new animated stuff to go with it as well. And also there will be, by the way, some opportunities if any of you guys out there would like to have, say, your own background character appear in the project.
Oh, more shilling incoming.
Yeah. Stay tuned for details on that. So, but if that doesn't turn out like complete shit, maybe I'll look into doing more on-camera acting in the future. Who knows? Perhaps someday. It was a long-winded answer to that.
It was very long-winded, but like you're passionate. What game that doesn't have an English VO would you like to voice act for? Also, what character? This is from Battlecraft.
Ooh, okay. Two dream ones. Man, if there was ever a remake of Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, I mean, that's kind of an easy one. Anybody, literally anybody. I mean, Gino would be a dream fucking come true, but I mean, anybody. I'd be. Another one, maybe a little bit more realistic if they ever do like, because they did Shovel Knight and then Shovel Knight Dig, which was kind of like the Super Nintendo kind of equivalent. I hope someday that they do like Shovel Knight 64, like a 3D one. I would like kill to be anybody in Shovel Knight. I don't care whether it's like one of the pre-existing characters or like, you know, what like a new character or something. Anybody on Shovel Knight. I love those characters, and that would be so fucking cool to do any of those guys. That's actually also a game that I'd love to play with a bunch of voice actors and do voices too. That'd be super fun to do that. Maybe I'll do that someday.
Well, I mean, you're a streamer, so
sure does.
It's basically whenever you invite some other voice actors, that'd be cool to see. All right, from John P. Chris, your stuff made my day when I was younger. It inspired me to write, and yet I didn't have the courage to do the same thing of putting it all out there. Any wisdom for future creators out there?
Oh man, there's so much I could say about that. But you know what? I'll say this: if you are passionate about telling stories, really study storytelling. And I would say what really clicked for me is when I started thinking about what am I saying? What am I saying with my story? Like, it took me a long time to realize that Tome, for instance, is a story about trust. That's the overarching theme of like what that whole kind of setup was. And I think that understanding like what you're portraying, because on one level it can just be entertainment and funny or cool or whatever, but like I think that something deeper to it is always important, and that's what makes certain stories like really memorable and legendary, at least in my opinion. So I would say like really know what you're saying with your own story. That's probably the best kind of general.
Right, what you know?
Yeah.
All right, from Space Rose, who is your waifu?
Funnily enough, relevant to the Legends thing earlier, one of my earliest waifus when I was a young lad was Roll Casket from Mega Man Legends.
Of course.
She's super cute. She's a lot of fun. What do you think of characters now? Man.
The woman from Godzilla?
yeah. Miana and Maina from Godzilla, the trilogy. Yeah, totally. There you go. I mean, they're literally my waifus, so there you go.
Alright. From Brandon Lunk, what is your favorite Newground game?
Ooh, favorite Newgrounds. You know what? I gotta go back and look at my profile of likes to determine that. There were a bunch that I played when I was really young, but it's been so many. Oh, you know what? Here. One that was very special to me because I also got to be in it. I voiced the final boss in a series of games called Hunter: Relic of Stars, and it was a 6-episode kind of like tribute to Contra, and like kind of like a cross between like Contra and Mega Man. And Kira Buckland, who I animated Brawl Taunts for, she's now the voice of Jolene from JoJo and a bunch of other stuff. She was the lead character in that, and myself and Edmund Chung and Devin Mack and a whole bunch of people were in it. It was super fun, and that's cool. If you could go check out that one, Hunter: Relic of Stars. I played through that whole series of games myself, and then I got to fight myself at the end, which was cool. So love those.
Oh my god. From Killer Zilla, Chris, you gonna go back to Oni Plays to finish the Yik playthrough?
Yes, we just talked about that yesterday. That is the plan. And I am hopefully going to be involved with the last part of the Y2K playthrough. Stay tuned.
Oh, you said it the other way again.
I said it the right way, I think.
Yeah, whatever. I'm still scrolling through, man. Again, if there's any on you want to read? Favorite animation collab you've made? From Bleach Brandon.
That I've made? Well, I've only made, as far as like a collab, like kind of like project like that. The third Nintendo collab, Nintendo to the 64th Power, was definitely like the best of the three and had like the overall best jokes and voices and animations and stuff, and all those people that I worked with and everything. They were super cool. I as much as I'd love to do a Dragon Ball Z reanimation collab, but the thing is, because I know that Toei is very, very like protective of their footage and of their property and stuff, I know that like they probably wouldn't necessarily be cool with that. So it's like, I probably shouldn't put all the effort in for something that might be, ultimately just taken down.
But yeah.
So yeah.
That
but
makes
I'll
sense.
but I don't know, maybe someday I'll do something like that. But I mean, otherwise my collaborative projects are stuff like Tome and like the project that I'm doing now, where like I want to work with other people on, a project like that. So it's kind of an evolution of that sort of thing for me.
Well, this next question kind of ties into that then. This is from Zeke. Is Tome as a series officially over? I've enjoyed it ever since I was a kid when it came out on Newgrounds.
Well, like I said before, stay tuned to the third and final of the Tome A to Z movies. The kind of expanded ending is more or less my goodbye to the series before I fully move on to the next project that I'm doing. So,
That's the end. Are you really okay with that? You don't feel like, I don't know.
I mean, I've spent 12 years of my life with it being my main thing, and I love it. I'm very proud of it, and it's something that I
you can let go of your child like that?
Well, you know what? Because the thing is, the project that I'm working on now, believe it or not, I've had longer than Tome. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for many, many, many years.
Aww.
So, in fact, you know what? Can I talk about that a little bit, if that's okay?
When have I stopped you from talking about anything?
Can I give you another exclusive?
Sure.
Another exclusive? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Keep shilling.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Where's the... Oh, here it is.
You don't even have it prepared.
Here it is.
Alright.
So, the next major project that I am in very early stages of, I spent most of last year writing the script for what I'm hoping to be an animated feature film project. And it is called Balancing Act. This is an IP that I've had for my whole life, since I was in my single digits, like legit. It has changed and evolved over many, 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 many years. Very hardcore fans of mine are familiar with past incarnations of some of these characters, because when I was in college, I did a thesis film that was like sort of a I can't even say beta version, more like a I don't know, whatever Zeta version of it. Like it has changed and evolved a lot since then, but it is basically a small-time makeshift superhero team story about these 4 characters that all have elemental superpowers, because that's never been done before. And it is about them overcoming their own trauma and discovering what it is that they love to do with their lives and what they continue to live and strive for. And they all have their own very traumatic, deep-seated issues that I won't go too much into right now. But I love these characters very dearly. And at the moment, these character designs, by the way, were also co-designed with me by the lovely 𝐂𝐚𝐭 who also designed my current version of Kerberfer. She's awesome. I've been working on character designs with her, and I've been writing the script. I'm currently waiting to get feedback from a few professional writers that are looking over the script. And they did, but before I kind of, revitalize some stuff and, change things around and etc. And I launched the Patreon because eventually I want to have a feature. I don't have this currently as a thing on it, but eventually I want to have a tier where you can get all sorts of behind the scenes stuff about the movie, like as it's being made. And then eventually I'll probably do a Kickstarter of some kind where maybe people have the opportunity to like get themselves like as background characters and stuff like that in the project. So this is something that's very, very, very important to me. It's like this is like the magnum opus of my life, and I'm really excited to do it, and I hope that I'll be able to jump into doing it soon. Because I've been developing it for years of my life. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be plunging into for quite a while, very soon. But yeah, so I hope you guys are interested and intrigued from just the little bit of thing I could drop about it for the time being. So I appreciate you letting me talk about it.
Yeah, blunt question: is the character on the far right a self-insert?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I can
tell. who again? I probably will not be voicing myself. I will probably, and I know who I want, and they said yes.
Oh.
So hopefully I'll be able to get them. I won't say who they are, but I'm very excited if that will work out. I hope. So we'll see.
Well, hell yeah! What goes into something like this? Like how do you? I don't know.
Well, my plan is it's part of why I decided to launch a Patreon, for myself. It's what I want to do is when the script is solid and finished, I want to storyboard the whole movie myself, do animatics, kind of build up, interest and stuff for it and everything. And then, and slowly but surely kind of get it going, and then eventually bring on other people on the staff, other animators and storyboarders, and then record the voices and license music and compose original stuff and all these different things, all sorts of stuff. But in the early kind of, in these early kind of stages, I'm trying to really nail down the story to be as solid and good as it can possibly be. So, that's it's early days. It's early days for really doing this, but I feel very strongly about this, and I aim to have this be my next major focus, basically. So.
Well, hell yeah! I hope that works out for you.
Thank you.
Name one thing you dislike, Chris, from the Dynamic Doodle.
Anything that I dislike in general?
Yeah. Jesus. You have to say something negative.
Oh man, can I get topical? AI art.
Really?
Yeah.
I should have known that would be one of your takes.
Let me get as quote unquote devil's advocate-y as I can. I don't think that AI in general as a concept is evil and needs to be snuffed out.
Really?
But I do think that a lot of people are misusing it, and that is a bummer, because I do believe that there are also people that are trying to use AI for good. But unfortunately there are too many people that are using it for ill, which sucks, because that's kind of dampening what could be something great. So it's gonna take a while, I think, for people to, and AI art is a perfect example, because that's something that impacts my own business, and I don't want that to take away job opportunities and things for not only myself, but my friends and colleagues. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm hoping that over time there will be kind of a settling period where it won't be the dismantling of an industry and all sorts of stuff. That's why I don't want it to just be it's all bad and all blah blah blah. What it's there's middle grounds. There's things to be talked about. It's not a black and white kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, but I am sad that people to be specific. Someone asked, "Oh, what's an example?" Just people stealing people's art to make stuff and passing it on as their own. Because even before AI, that was a thing that is a problem that is not cool. So, that's my take on that, if that makes sense. So.
Alrighty. Which questions do you like? Do you like the ones that are more voice actor, or do you like just general questions?
I'm cool with anything. Yeah, this has all been fun.
Alright. Will you ever Let's Play Yik from DICE?
When we release the new update, I would like to play the game. I think that people would love to see Alex play as Y2K himself. I think that, hell, God forbid if I'd be able to get an Alex fucking VTuber model made. That's probably asking
would they allow
much,
that?
But that would be pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm friends with the creators. I still keep in touch with Andrew Allenson, who is the director and kind of head guy of the project. I was actually talking with them earlier today on Discord very briefly. So yeah, no, they don't give a shit. They're cool to be doing whatever. So.
All right. From Symbols Writer, if You did the casting for the Hat in Time. Can you tell me the story behind JonTron's bit in the game? How did that come to be?
It was as simple as Jonas and the team asked if he could be in the game. I had worked with him previously on Tome. He played a character named Sniper Wheel, who's this kind of robot, kind of New Yorker kind of dude. And
of course,
so I reached out. Yeah, of course. And so I at the time, this was years ago. I was working with John on some early like season 2 JonTron episodes. Fun fact: here's a weird, obscure fact. The Goosebumps episode of JonTron show. There's a gag where he's putting one of the Goosebumps books like in the Dreamcast, and this like evil like zombie hand comes out from behind a thing. I like suggested that because I was helping him film it. I suggested that as a little bit of a hot just an additional idea, and then he kept it. So I'm actually in that episode. But yeah, so I reached out to him and said, hey, they want you to voice this character. So they had him do originally this little penguin guy in one of the early demos, and then they went a different direction with the character, and we recast, and then my friend Marin Miller played the penguin character, and they gave John this other guy who was this bird, because obviously he loves birds and stuff, so they had him do this character that was he was like a receptionist guy that was like, hey there, little chirper. They wanted like a what's his face? He passed away. Oh my god, Gilbert Gottfried, like an Iago, kind of thing for him.
You remember all these other random fucking actors' names, and then you struggle with Gilbert Gottfried?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh my god.
Swear to God, so. Yeah, it was just as simple as that. Yeah, that was one of the cases where we didn't do an audition. They just wanted him, and we brought him in to play the character. So, because most of the other characters we auditioned, and people came up with all sorts of fun, weird sorts of stuff and everything. So.
Alrighty, from Roland Van Ewing? How many times has your car been broken into / stolen from in the last 5 years?
I have been very lucky, and thank God, only the one time.
Only one time?
Yeah, it didn't happen again. Yeah, somebody broke into, not at the place I was living in before the current place I'm in now. Somebody broke into my garage in my apartment complex and stole my gate clicker. So yeah, that was mildly terrifying. Yeah. So yeah, just the one time, thankfully. So.
No, but that's not bad. That's not bad for Los Angeles.
Yeah, thankfully. So.
From Striker Red, do you prefer CGI or hand-drawn animation?
I like both. I think that my heart is more in 2D because it's more of what I do personally. But I have been so impressed by things that CG animation have done. I loved that recent Dragon Ball Super movie, the superhero one. Yeah, absolutely. And I've danced around with the idea of picking up CG. Germ, who I mentioned before, that made my model, he has said I could teach you Blender, and I might take him up on that because there's some CG things that I would like to do to help out with some of the stuff that I want to do for balancing act and otherwise. So but if I had to pick between the two, 2D is more so where my heart is at.
Good taste.
Yeah.
God damn it, it scrolled. There was one, it was from Daystra, have there ever been characters or lines that you refuse to voice?
There's very few projects that I've ever straight up turned down. Funnily enough, there was something that I did turn down that was an AI training thing that I just didn't feel comfortable with. I won't go too much into the specifics, but that was one thing where I was and I wasn't vitriolic. I was just like, hey, I appreciate the offer. I'm not interested in doing this. Sorry about that. But yeah. But otherwise, in terms of subject matter, I've worked on some stuff that's I don't know if I love the subject matter of this show, but again, it's a job. I go in, that one movie I mentioned before, the live action dub project. There's some stuff like that once in a while, but I just go in, I say the lines, I get the paycheck, and it's whatever. So
Speaking of AI though, from Cherim, re-AI and voice acting, how about using AI-assembled lines to dub games like The Elder Scrolls Morrowind when there's not really a financial incentive for companies and modders aren't exactly flush to pay VAs? Not sure entirely what they mean by that. But...
I think personally, there's little to no reason to use AI for the entire cast of a video game. I could see it. Okay, I'll get devil's advocate again for one specific thing.
You give the most lukewarm devil advocate takes ever.
Yeah, probably, but okay. I could see AI voice replication being used for, say, if you have an actor playing a character in a video game, and the player character can be whatever you want to name them, right? I could see it being something cool where, say, like, the character that is talking to them, that is otherwise performed by a real human being, through some kind of algorithmic thing, can actually say, like, Pippa, what are you going to do now? Like, actually knows how to replicate saying the player's name that they name their character. Now, granted, also people could use that for evil, you know, for obvious reasons. But that's one use for, like, okay, sure, maybe I could see that, but otherwise, I am 100% in favor of just get fucking real human beings. Hell, even for robot characters, even for, like, characters that are literally AI, get human beings. I am fucking begging you, and that's all I have to say about that. So,
all right. From Rolf Stonefist, how did the director of 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭 describe Alex to you when you first started working on the game?
Kind of as I described before, a piece of shit that grows to be a better person. In fact, it was Andrew's words, Andrew Allenson, who is the director and kind of head creative guy of Y2K. In his words, Alex was always intended to be a stupid, pretentious loser that from the beginning he was supposed to basically be a Redditor. And that the game developers were very aware of how unlikable he was, because there's a big myth that, like, they simply didn't understand the character and thought he was a super cool dude that everyone would want to be. Like, no, the point is that he's a piece of shit that has to become a decent human being by the end of the story. And I think that whether people want to admit it or not, I think that there is something to that people can relate to. But because we're all kind of expected to, like, be perfect for our whole lives, that, like, you know, like, no, I've never been an asshole in my life, and I've never, you know, grown or become a better person.
Come on, you're giving journalist takes now. Come on, nobody's actually like, oh no, a character can't grow and develop. The issues with 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭 transcend fucking basic ass take.
In terms of what was described to me, that was what I got in terms of, and then I kind of interpreted the character and my performance from there, basically. So.
Okay. From Jay, what's the worst thing you ever drank?
I was 4 years old, and my mom and dad and my two sisters went to Disneyland. Disney World in Florida. I was very young. And we were staying at one of the hotels, and I woke up in the middle of the night one day, and I reached over to the nightstand to grab what I thought was a glass of water. It wasn't.
What was it?
Well, I didn't know what it was. For about 20 years of my life, I didn't know what it was. But I woke up the next morning and I was very sick and was barfing my fucking brains out. I remember distinctly, I was so sick. They did, like, the Mickey Mouse, like, breakfast in bed thing where, like, the Mickey like suit worker, like, comes to your hotel room and, like, delivers breakfast and stuff. And
what the fuck?
Like,
what the hell package did you pay for? What the hell?
Like that. Because they were like, oh no, Chris is sick and now, like, we can't, you know, go to the park today because he's, you know, feeling bad or whatever. And I remember, like, eating my breath. I had like grapes from, like, a fruit salad, and I was, like, barfing up all the individual grapes. I will never get that image out of my fucking brain. Turns out, years later, I find out my dad was like, oh yeah, no, that was a leftover beer. That was like a warm Heineken you drank. And I'm like,
that fucked you up that bad?
Father, I consumed alcohol accidentally as a fucking 4-year-old.
Your parents didn't give you beer as a kid?
I'm if I could put the L on my head, I would. I am
Your audio got so quiet again.
Oh, god damn it. Son of a cock. Hold up. And now it's back to normal. There we go. Yeah, I'm straight edge. I have, other than that, I've never had alcohol. I've never smoked anything in my life. I'm a fucking milk toast ass motherfucker. So.
Seriously?
And that was the strangest thing I've ever.
You don't drink alcohol? Nothing?
Nah.
Oh my god.
Nothing.
You've never had a nice glass of moonshine?
Never.
What the fuck? Vodka? Nothing?
Nope. Not a goddamn thing. Not a drip. Not a drop. Nothing. Nothing, Norton.
What? You went to college? You never... That's like what college kids do, is they, like, do drugs and drink and then have sex and then do it all again and then fail their fucking degrees and have to take them all over again.
Wasn't my scene. I had fun doing other stuff, so.
But that's not all college kids. That's like all college kids. That's what like people go to college for.
Yeah, but I didn't. The one stereotypical college thing that I did when I went to SVA was I ate lots of cup ramen. And yeesh.
What do you mean yeesh? Cup ramen's delicious.
Sometimes most American brands of cup ramen are not that great. I would love to try like Japanese cup ramen because it's just probably delicious. But
thing
yeah, no.
Japan, woo! Thing America, ooh.
No, because I've literally been told that cup ramen in Japan is fucking amazing. So.
Oh my god. Okay, from J Wolf, what exactly is tome, artificial, interference, and two lives? I don't really get what they are and just haven't gone around with them.
So I mentioned earlier, I'll just surmise this again real quick. Those are the first and second of the trilogy of Tome A to Z movies, which is basically a special edition version of the web series, turned into a trio of movies that is told more from the perspective of 𝐒𝐻𝐵𝗏/Zero, and it features new animated sequences that divulge certain secrets and perspectives of characters and things, stuff that happened between the episodes. And the third and final installment is going to be coming out over the summer, and will feature a new expanded ending. So if you have ever felt like rewatching the Tome series, go check out Tome Artificial Interference and Tome Two Lives, which are the first installments of that trilogy. So.
Kind of sus as somebody who hates AI to call their thing something that shortens to AI.
Yeah, that is because it features a character who is an AI that gains sentience. So.
Endorsing AI, are we?
Endorsing, it's an interesting story device, absolutely. But, yeah.
I'm fucking with you. Okay, sure.
You are? What?
What?
You're fucking with me? What?
Yeah.
Are you memeing on me right now?
I'm memeing. Did you catch on to that?
Pippa, I'm surprised at you.
Shut up.
What's the next question?
How does it feel being sober, nerd? From Eminem.
Healthy for my body.
You're so boring. From James Jameson, since he says he never drank, has he done drugs?
Never. Not a one.
That haven't either. Can't make fun of you for that one.
Yeah.
From Andre H, have you ever watched a certain review of Yick on YouTube by Running Shine? If so, how do you feel about how Alex was portrayed there?
No, I've never heard of that person, and I didn't really go looking for reviews, necessarily, so, yeah, I have not seen. Have no feelings, sorry.
Well, why don't you watch that, and then you can make like a little response?
Let's just stop the video right now.
Is that what I said? Is that what I said, bitch? No, that's not what I fucking said. I said you should go watch it, and then you can do. If you had let me finish, I would have said you could do like a response video or something. I'm giving you content ideas, and you're condescending to me right now.
You made me some content.
Next question. From Happily. Alright, Andrew, then you, what the, fave Mega Man X game?
Ooh. I really like X5, because I love the design of all the Maverick bosses. And second place would be probably X8, because that was the only one of the only Mega Man X games that I actually played to completion, for PS2, so.
You're like a Mega Man super fan.
I am. Funnily enough, though, weirdly, Mega Man X is actually the Mega Man series I'm like the least a fanboy of, like, compared to all the other ones. But I just still like it. I just still appreciate it a lot. But like, there's some of them that I actually haven't played. Where like all the other ones, like, I've played every game of the series.
Oh my god, fake fan!
Fake Mega Man X fan specifically, like casual one. Yeah.
Oh, still, I haven't played every little single thing in the franchise. Fake fan.
Nope.
Wow, that's terrible. What do you like more, Mega Man or Pokemon?
Ooh. Oh man. Probably Pokemon because Pokemon has had overall more because it's had more longevity over time. Like, and Mega Man unfortunately has had kind of a blank period. I'm very grateful for the Legacy collections, and I want more new stuff. But Pokemon, it never goes away. It never stops being in my life. So I'm probably just based on that. It's more meaningful to me ultimately.
Also, who do you like more now? Like after... Okay, so I guess this is a broader question. So after voice acting a character, do you feel like more of an attachment to them?
Yeah, I think so. Because you know what? Sometimes, like I said before, even when like there's cases of like, if I am not like personally... Okay, actually, here's an example. I voiced a character in, you know the Fate series, like Fate Stay Night and Fate, I voiced Karna, the Lancer of Red in Fate Apocrypha, and I never got into Fate. I wanted to at one point, but I just kind of like it just kind of sat on my my to-do list and never got around to it, unfortunately. But I had so many friends that were like huge fans of Fate, and so I knew it was a big deal, and I appreciate it. I actually, weirdly enough, I didn't audition for Karna. I was just given the role, and I was like, oh.
Nepotism.
Wow, cool. Wow. No, not even. They were just like they needed to start working on it, and they were looking through actors. Maybe they submitted samples, but I was just brought in. I'm like, cool, okay. So once again, did the best job that I could. And to be honest, there was a part of me that felt like I don't think I'm a very good fit for this character. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing that good of a job, even with the best that I can give. I don't feel like I'm doing that great of a job on his performance. But many friends of mine, including like people in the cast and people who were fans of the series, were like, no, dude, that's like one of your best performances I've ever heard. Like, I love it. And I was like, okay. And I would meet lots of fans at cons that were like, we love this character and you did such a great job on him, especially in like his big final fight scene with like Siegfried and everything. And so kind of through everybody else's, even on a case where like, I wasn't like invested in the series. I didn't dislike it or anything. I just, I just didn't know the ins and outs of it. And people just being very encouraging. I was like, you know what? I think because of that, I've grown to like Karna a lot. And he hasn't appeared in any of the new animated stuff, so I haven't gotten to voice him again. But I don't know if he ever does. I hope I will get to it at some point, especially because I'm more experienced than I was from back when I did the show. So
right on. Okay. From 𝐶𝑯𝑨𝒀𝑶𝑶𝑶, what is your opinion on Asmongold? Do you know Asmongold?
I don't.
God, you suck. All right. Do you want to keep answering questions?
I'm cool to go as long as you fucking want. I know we're past the 3-hour mark, but I mean, I ain't doing anything else. So.
Oh, I'm very inclined to kick you off the show now that you don't know. Now that you admit you don't know who Asmongold is, but
I'm sorry. Listen. It is a common thing with me where like there's a lot. Okay, let me ask this: is he a Let's Player? Is he a YouTuber? Is he somebody Twitch streamer? I don't know.
Why don't you take a guess?
I guessed all 3 things I could think of.
He's a Twitch streamer.
Okay, there are tons of streamers and YouTubers and internet personalities that like they're tremendously fucking famous. And then I have no fucking idea who they are. I had friends that are like, dude, oh my god, I love Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. And this is no offense to them. I'm just like, who? I don't know who these people are. I'm like, what? And then I'd like learn about them later, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm
disgusting.
Under a rock when it comes to that stuff.
Disgusting. Berserk Rage wants me to educate you about Asmongold. I don't really know what to say. I think if you were more into like the Blizzard stuff, it'd be easier to. But then you would know who he is, so.
Yeah. Is that what does he do, like Overwatch and WoW and stuff like that? Or?
Oh yeah, he loves Overwatch. No, he's a World of Warcraft streamer.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Which is an MMO, which is a genre of video game you don't fucking play! It's just horrible. It's just horrible. I just don't know how somebody can go, like... I just don't... Like, no MMOs at all. You act like you're a social fucking butterfly. You've never like had voice actor friends who were like, yeah, dude, hop on the fucking World of Warcraft.
I did. I had
then
I said before. I don't know.
Didn't.
You know what? No. I know
Oh
what it is.
my
I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is
it's
it?
because I have it's the same reason why I don't do drugs and alcohol.
What?
I have an addictive personality. And I'm scared that if I play an MMO, my life will be over and it will be nothing but that. That's why.
That's what happened to me. You should play Pokemon Masters EX. Not an MMO. It's a gacha.
Maybe if I ever get on it as a character or something.
Oh my god. Well, you can't be Chorus because he's already in the game and voiced by.
Well, yeah.
Voice
Because as you've noticed, they have different casts for every individual Pokemon project, obviously. So yeah, of course, I wouldn't be able to reprise anybody, but it'd be cool to play a character that I haven't been before. Maybe someday. It'd be fun if I'm lucky someday. Who knows?
Do you play any gachas?
I don't. I have friends that are obsessed with them. Toxic Soul 77, who I mentioned earlier, that did all the character design stuff. She is addicted to Cookie Run Kingdom and Honkai Star Rail.
Ugh.
So I vicariously watch her play those. In fact, she's probably fucking playing them on Discord with her friend group as we fucking speak. So.
Oh my god.
But yeah. So, but no, I do not indulge in such a thing, unfortunately. So.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which means you want to, so you should download Pokemon Masters EX.
Download Pokemon Masters EX
Not
today.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. But please sponsor us.
No, I don't want to be sponsored because then I can't say bad things anymore, and I want to be able to complain when the game's shit.
Yeah.
All right. Pippa, why are you mad about him being based and cooler than you? He's not. You're a normie, dude. You're a fucking normie. You.
I'm cooler than you.
You are a fucking normie. Holy shit. Okay. From Andre again. You recently did VA work for Intelligent Systems / WayForward's next remake of Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. What was it like? Any notable moments? Have you picked up the game?
So I did not work on that game. I wish I did. It was very cool. My buddy Nathan, who is the lead programmer on the Tome game, worked on Advanced Wars Reboot Camp, and I have many friends that are in it that I love. I worked with WayForward on River City Girls 2. I got to play the Dragon Twins, Ryuji and Ryuichi, who were a pair of these very smarmy twin brothers that were a pair of bosses that you fight against, and they got to say a lot of stuff in sync with each other, and that was tons of fun. I love getting to do that game. But no, I did not work on Reboot Camp, unfortunately. So.
I don't know why they thought you did then. From Vat9, who is better at long tangents, you or Pippa? I think that one's up to the audience to decide.
Yeah, what? Vote now on your devices. Who will never shut the fuck up?
Look, I was quiet just there, so I win.
That's true. That's true.
So I win. Yeah. Okay.
I win.
Shut up. Oh, from Brimbo Crumbo, do you have a favorite VA besides yourself?
Besides myself, I have several. You know what? Actually, hold on, Pippa. Do you have a favorite voice actor?
Yi Chang for voicing Chorus.
Other than Wai Chang, do you have any others?
Whoever the fuck voiced Alexander from the beginning of Amnesia.
Oh, hold on.
Chat keeps saying his name. I never remember it.
Amnesia. Let's see. From 2014. Wait, no, that's an anime.
No.
Never mind.
From the video game.
The video game Amnesia. 2015.
It's older than that.
I'm trying to find the thing on BTVA. I can't find it.
Whatever. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Have you ever heard of that game?
I know the name. I've never played it, unfortunately.
You've never played? Have you ever watched anybody play it?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Jesus Christ.
The Dark Descent. Oh, here we go.
Sam A. Mowry.
Oh, Sam A. Mowry. Oh, he's worked on Dota 2. Oh, he was in Sly Cooper 2. Oh, cool. Okay, nice. So I have many, but the one who inspired me to want to become a voice actor was a gentleman by the name of Justin Cook, who is also one of the head producers at Funimation, now Crunchyroll. He was the voice of Yusuke Urameshi on Yu Yu Hakusho, which was one of my favorite all-time anime. And he's also Raditz and Dende and Super Boo on Dragon Ball Z, and he is Kirishima on My Hero Academia. And
how do you remember all this shit?
Because I am a walking, talking, fucking encyclopedia of voice actors. It is ridiculous.
It is!
Yeah, Justin is awesome, and I love every performance that I ever get to hear him in. And he's a great guy, and he's become a friend over the years, and I'll never forget telling him how much he inspired me at an after party at a con one day. And then since then, I have gotten to do stuff for Funimation, and he's treated me very well, and I hope I can get the chance to work with him on something someday. So I also like Roger Craig Smith. I like James Arnold Taylor.
Oh, who's the guy that does that is Frankenstein from Soul Eater?
Chuck Huber. Yeah, I've met him for like a second at a con many years ago. I know
He's
it's funny.
got cool voice.
I know him mainly for Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho because he was one of the main characters in that show. Yeah, he's a strange guy. I remember meeting him like, you're a very eccentric individual. You talked about how oh, you're a theater kid. I'm just like, no, he's a crazy theater guy.
He's like way out there. Like I've seen I remember watching the back when I was really into Soul Eater. I remember watching the anime convention panels that he's in and stuff, and he'll actually like sit backwards in his chair and like do the little spin thing and like emulate the character. Like, he's cool. He's a silly guy.
God, I still remember being at like, what was it, New York Comic Con, where they premiered. Okay, do you like Soul Eater? Were you into Soul Eater back in the day?
That's what I just said.
Okay, right before I did my first professional gig on Pokemon, I went to the Comic Con where they premiered the English dub of Soul Eater, and they had all the main characters, like the 7 or 8, like, you know, Soul and Maka and Blackstar, all those guys. They were all there, and I drew a bunch of caricatures of the actors with like them as their characters next to them. And I went down the autograph line and I told them like, I love your work, that was super cool. And they were like, oh my God, this drawing is awesome. And I gave them like prints, like as little gifts and stuff. And I was just, at that con, I was like, I fucking win, bro. Hell yeah. And now, years later, like a bunch of those actors I have gotten to know and I've gotten to be friends with, and I've worked with them on the voice of Soul, actually. Micah Solasad, he voiced a character in Tome, and he was super cool. So
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, love that series.
From Pedro, what do you think about things like Hellsing Abridged? So I guess like Abridged series in general.
Yeah, I think that admittedly there's very few of them that are like really, really good. They're kind of, you know, people don't really do a bridge series anymore. It's like a very rare thing these days. But yeah, there's very few of them that I think are like genuinely very funny. But I worked on Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and Dragon Ball Z Abridged and Hellsing Abridged. I think like very briefly I did like a small character in Hellsing Abridged like years back. But they were fun. I'm very excited to see also like the new stuff that all those guys like Little Karibo and Team 4-Star, like the stuff that they'll be doing now that, I mean, like Little Karibo, I hope eventually finishes Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged someday. I know that that's probably a goal that he's had. And Team 4-Star are obviously done. Fallen Saint, I played Noah in the filler arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged with the green hair. That guy. That was many years ago. And I also animated the Leather Pants music video. Which we did like back in like 2010 or something. We did that. That was something. And then Team 4-Star, 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐿 commissioned me to do a lot of like the edits on the character mouths and like the expressions and things. And I voiced Ox King in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Because Kyle Bear, who plays Ox King in the real show, was a friend of mine. And I designed the Ghost Nappa t-shirt. The very first t-shirt that they ever did. I worked on that. So. Yeah, but yeah, and now Takahata's a VTuber. He was in the Tome game as well. He appeared as himself in the Tome game as a little guest character, which was super cool. So
the bartender VTuber now.
Yes. Hoping to visit his bar at some point, which would be fun.
Oh, yes. All right. How about a more controversial question?
Oh,
a lot of people talking about Vic. You ever met Vic? You can say pass.
I met Vic.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
All right.
Yeah.
From Happily Ariandra, you a Homestar Runner fan?
Yes, I love Homestar Runner. Love Homestar Runner. That was a big inspiration in terms of Flash animation years and years and years ago. I actually found Strong Bad Email and all that stuff long before not long before, but shortly before I found Newgrounds. And I still, every once in a while, I go back and I binge just shit tons of Strong Bad Emails and old Homestar Runner cartoons and stuff like that. So and I would love to meet the Chapman brothers someday because they're just fucking idols of mine. So yeah.
All right, how about one last question for the night?
Okay.
You want to pick something?
Sure. Let's see.
Yeah, I can keep scrolling.
I want to go. Let me go on a high note, on a cool one. Let's see. This makes for great radio, absolutely. Curb, will you take this Yabbit as your bride and save her from? You scroll past it. Moving on.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys. All right. Ooh, what's your favorite anime? Asked Jay. Pippa, what's your favorite anime?
Oremo.
Oremo?
Yeah.
What is Oremo?
You don't know Oremo?
No, I don't.
Tell me
about it.
I don't want to explain it. It's cringe.
No, it's not. Tell me.
No, it is cringe.
How do you spell it?
Oreimo. Oh god.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes. I've seen the girl from this before. Okay. Let's see. Do I know? Oh wait. Hold on. Okay. Was this show ever dubbed?
No, I don't think so.
Really? Oh, what? Wow. Yeah.
No, I don't think Funimation would touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
Funimation isn't the only fucking anime.
Well, they're like basically, dude.
What's the premise of it?
So this girl she's like so most people, like around school and stuff, they know her for like being like the popular girl. She's very, she has like a part-time job where she models and stuff. And she's friends with like other popular girls. And then during her home life, she has a secret, and that secret is that she's actually a mega otaku that's super into like cute anime girls, and she like hardcore buys a bunch of merch for her favorite characters. And her brother finds out about this, and it's kind of like a exploration of her becoming more in touch with her inner cringe.
Huh.
And she kisses her brother at the end.
Oh. Why?
They have a little wedding. It's anime cringe kino. You wouldn't understand, normie.
I swear to God, you have no idea how many series where it's like, oh man, like what a cool concept, and then they just throw in some fucking incestual bullshit, and I'm just like, why? Why do you do this? For fuck's sake!
You ever seen Yosuga no Sora?
I don't know the name of that.
Played it?
Is it a visual novel?
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Eromanga Sensei? Another anime?
The name of that one? I know the name. He is weak.
Kiss Sis?
I know the name of that one. I can figure out the content of that one as well.
It's not hentai.
My favorite animes.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that my like ongoing like big love one, and I'm gonna sound like such a fucking whatever. I love One Piece still to this day. Still going.
Your volume is so quiet again.
What? God, fucking.
It's okay.
I don't even have like an auto shit on, you fucking piece of shit. Okay, I love One Piece. Love One Piece. But my answer will be something a little more obscure. It still holds up. It's a show from, I think they're early-ish 2000s, maybe early to mid 2000s. It is a show called Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad.
Never heard of it.
And it is a show that is about a bunch of kids in Japan that want to become an American rock band. So it is that's the basic kind of thing, but it is centered around this young kid named Koyuki, or is his nickname Koyuki, who's this young kind of awkward guitar player who has the voice of an angel, and he discovers that he has a passion, like kind of an unknown passion and talent for music, and you kind of see him sort of go through life, and it's very realistically like relatable, and like it's super grounded, but still has like good kind of comedy to it and really heartfelt moments. All the members of the band are like fucking great characters. And I will also say it is a show, and I really sincerely mean this, it is equally both amazing in both languages.
Okay, well, of course the fucking VA would say that.
Well, sure,
of course the English voice actor.
I'm not going to pretend like there's not a certain level of bias, but the reason I say that is because the two guys, there were two directors, Chris Bevins, who's an awesome director, and Taliesin Jaffe, who some of you guys probably know better from his work on Critical Role. The two of them co-directed the dub of the show, and they basically got all musicians for the cast. So all the singers are real singers. The bassist is a real bassist. The guitar player is a real guitar, etc., etc. All of them, like literally, when they were auditioning people for the show, one of the things where they had to like sign like kind of a little thing of like talking about their actual musical background, and one of the questions was like, "How much do you rock?" Right, which was really cute. And it's got Greg Ayres, Johnny on Bosch, Jerry Jewell, Justin Cook, Brina Palencia, Eric Vale. It's fucking fantastic show. So it's a quick little one. It's 26 episodes, so not super long. I love that show very much. And yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is another big one. Dragon Ball Z is a big one.
You have such normie taste!
I know!
And then now you expect to be quiet again!
You know, fucking... I'm just keeping Audacity open so I can fuck with my volume. I don't know why it's doing... Wait, no. Oh, it's the same volume. Fuck you. Fucking ball sack. Anyway. Alright. Wow. Well, goodness gracious. We've gone on for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
How you feeling?
Great.
Feeling good?
I feel great. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
This was fun. You know, PP, you're a delight.
That's not my name.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Hey, chat. Do you guys like that my nickname for her is PP?
No, I don't think they'd like that.
You know?
No.
Like PP?
No.
Not like the thing that like comes out of your pee-pee hole, but like the two letters, like PP. Yeah. That's my little nickname for the little rabbity thing over here. What do you guys think, huh? You like, huh? You like it, huh? Yeah.
No.
You can go on that? Cool. All right.
You see how they're saying no? One of my coworkers popped in to say no.
Oh.
It's not my name.
This was a pleasure.
Yeah.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, it was neat learning about voice actor stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very foreign world.
It's a weird world. A lot of folks said like, "Oh, you're breaking her out of her shell. You're getting her to collab with people." I don't know how often you do collab with people.
I've been collabing with a lot of people. They're just concerning over nothing. Oh,
well, I would love to join you again, or I would love to have you join me again at some point. I would love to meet you talking at some point about it. Maybe I'll meet some of your other friends in the Connect-verse.
It's not called that.
No, that's my name for it. God damn it! All right, God. Yeah, no, this was fun, guys, and again, thanks everybody in the chat who asked questions and was hopefully not bored to fucking death by all the stuff I was talking about.
They can click off at any time they want to. So
that's true.
Yeah.
How do we end streams?
Well, do you have any last things you want to like shill? You shilled a lot.
I sure do. Patreon.com/𝐶𝑯𝒀𝒀𝒽 if you're interested in supporting any of my future animation works or otherwise. I've posted a link in the chat.
I'm gonna teach you about VTuber etiquette.
Was that not how? Wait, what?
With VTubers, okay, VTuber culture is a little bit more more strict. You can't just like post links and stuff, right? Like the person, the person asks you, you know, like, oh, do you have anything you want to like show? And usually you're supposed to be like, oh, oh, well, you can check me out at my channel here, right? And then you kind of just like call it there, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Posting stuff like Patreon, where it's like you get direct monetary, right? It's like a money thing, right? That's like taboo.
Fair enough. Okay, you know what?
I don't care. My chat doesn't care, but I'm teaching you.
No. But you know what? No, but I appreciate that, because if I want to continue to work with more VTubers like yourself, that especially ones that are part of like a proper label and everything, I would love to learn more about the etiquette and the culture. So I appreciat that very much.
All right, I'll hit you with a hammer with all of it. There's a lot. I have a lot to nitpick about you.
Please, okay. Just be gentle, please.
No.
Okay, well then let me revise. You can find me at youtube.com/𝐾𝐬𝐴15. I have the 15 in my name because I was 15 years old when I made my YouTube channel. Jesus Christ.
You know you can change it.
Yeah, but you know what? It's just become part of it for so fucking long that, you know, it's fine.
That's bad for branding.
Yeah, I know, numbers and anything. Well, you know what? Believe it or not, the Game Theory channel, which is up to, I don't even know how many fucking million subscribers at this point, it's still youtube.com/MatthewPatrick13 after all these years. So you know what?
They gotta fix that.
Yeah, or maybe they shouldn't, just to be chads about it. Who knows?
They should fix that, because the new YouTube handle system, it shows the handle in like the comments and stuff a lot of times.
Yeah.
And in a lot of places. So.
Gotcha.
For professionalism.
Yes, in fact, yes. And I will be streaming tomorrow at 12 noon PST. I'll be streaming the last section of Mega Man Battle Network 4 Red Sun. My channel lately has been mostly me playing Mega Man Battle Network because of the Legacy Collection and occasional shorts and other things. But yeah, I do animation and I do vlogs and reviews about various things.
You just call them vlogs?
Yeah, or actually, I call them Kerblogs, which I do about various subjects, and I do at least once of those a month, as much as I can. So, but yeah, you're streaming tomorrow too, I think, aren't you?
Actually, I think I'm gonna cancel. One of my coworkers, it's their birthday, so I'm probably gonna pop into her stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Alrighty. Well,
is there a way for me to give you head pats?
No, and I don't want head pats. Thank you though.
Oh.
It's kind of. I don't know. It's kind of condescending. Head patting.
What? That's.
It's kind of condescending.
Come on.
It's pretty condescending.
I love scritches. I love head pats.
Yo, you're not getting any from me.
Fine. Maybe I don't want any from you.
Doing a little tsundere voice there.
Harumph.
I will not hold on. One last tangent here. I will never forget now. It's gonna be burned in my brain forever. The fucking Oni playthrough at the beginning of it with the tome. You're like, this is Tori, whatever the fuck you named the fucking bird, and you're like, it's a tsundere bird. I've had this dad joke in my brain for years now.
Tsundere chicken, Tori. I love her. I love
Cringe.
her. I want toys of her. Yeah, she's like, it's not like I wanted to teach you how to use the controls of the game or anything.
Oh my god. That was terrible.
I love that shit.
Okay, I'm kicking you off of here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everybody. I'll see you around on the interwebs. Bye.
I'm ending off here as well. I'm not reading super chats or anything. I'm just gonna end the stream.
And if you came from my channel, subscribe to Pippa. Subscribe to the PP.
I don't want your viewers. And stop calling me PP.
Never.
Otsu cringe. That's my that's my outro phrase. You gotta say it too. Otsu cringe. Like Otsukare.
All right, hold on. Here. Let's do a little dubbing. I'm gonna go 3, 2. I'm gonna beep 3 times. And then right after the 3rd beep, we'll say, Otsu cringe together. You ready?
Oh, okay.
This is how you dub the anime. Okay.
Otsu
cringe! Perfect.
That was cringe. All right.
It was.
All right.
That's why it was perfect.
Okay, and then usually... This is weird. I'm not used to collabing, like... how do I explain this? Because I don't have an end screen, really. But there's like a 2-second delay. I usually have to like pad it off somehow. So usually I like comedically walk off screen. But that's harder to do with 2 people. Maybe I could like move the entire set. I'm just gonna move the entire building. The entire building's gone. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh boy, here we go.
Chat's getting left behind.